Right. That's us on. So, casting our minds back to before the past few episodes, when you're still at the Fortress Temple, when the Drake Rider dude shows up with the letter, like immediately afterwards, after you send him away and stuff, Balax is like, that evening, he's like, Commander, I'd like to call a war council. I think, given the, the state of the situation, if you think that would be a good idea,
Yeah.
discuss everything.
Probably be wise, seeing as we've just semi-accepted an invite to our deaths.
So yeah, so
Discuss it.
yeah, he's like, yeah, that's what I think as well. Do you, who should we? I was assuming, Lord Zorgar and you and myself and Lady Skillmother Markex, but perhaps Sargon and some of your favored would be.
I don't have favorites. You're not allowed favorites. I just have betters.
R.I.P. Calendar.
And I see a feral once looped in. I don't know if he cares.
Yeah, he probably does. Yeah, he's probably like, sure, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, war council, sure. They need a powerful naval captain there for such business.
I mean, I've also already been filled. But
I'm gonna move you guys.
Wouldn't be bad to have a second first man, if you will.
I mean, he's not even the first mate. I don't even know what role he fills. Petrus is my first mate.
He's your daddy.
Yeah, he is happy to come along. Hang on, I'm just readjusting things on the screen so I can make it. I don't know how people do this. But yeah, he's like, yeah, absolutely. I'll be there if you want me to be there. If I'm permitted to be there.
I'll allow it.
Is there anyone else you guys want to summon to your war council?
This is straight after the Wyvern thingy, right? So this is before two of my elite squadron pissed off to scale, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll have all four of them there then.
Sure. Okay.
I don't think there's anyone else who's really.
I suppose you guys don't really have anyone else there.
They're not there.
It has to be people that are with us. It can't be like.
I mean, there's no point.
What about our mom?
She's been invited. That's what Balax said.
What about?
Big.
I want someone. You've already got more people than me.
It's my fortress. I want someone.
I don't have anyone.
So far, you're having to beat fucking 6 people.
I don't have any NPCs. You've got all the NPCs.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Right now, I don't think. Who else have you got there?
You got fucking Valarius.
He's not an NPC. He's a god.
Yeah, but he's also a non-playable character. Is he
He's not. He's more than a character.
He's an MPG.
Presence. I was gonna invite my dad, but I don't know who he is.
Also, he's on scale. You don't know what side he's on.
That's a good point. Jake, what side is he on?
I don't know, when was the last time Zorgar spoke to his dad?
Probably a long ago, like
Longer.
6 years ago.
6 years ago, I don't know. I mean,
6 years ago, Zorgar was 20.
Yeah.
Like whose side was Zorgar on then? Before he found out that he was
That's
Markex.
a good point. I think he was probably. He probably didn't ask too many questions.
Sure.
Because he wasn't like heavily involved with the God of Justice yet.
Okay.
And then once he like got into like God and shit, and he was like, I'm gonna ask some more big questions here. Like,
Okay.
Whose side should I be on?
Fair enough. Yeah.
He just like followed because he was in the army on the scale, so I guess he just followed his orders.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. So yeah, your dad probably be in a similar boat. He probably just like, that's my job. I just do what people tell me to do. That's my role. he probably would have had opinions, but probably wouldn't actually like talk that much about them.
Yeah, pretty stoic guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's 8 people, right? Including us.
Yeah.
It's big enough for a council.
It's partially, possibly too big, but it doesn't matter.
Who's on your list?
It doesn't matter. Let's just have.
No, I'm just saying who's on the council. Me, you, our mum.
Are we talking regulars or this meeting?
Talking about the council that we're making.
This council has been a thing for a while. But before it started as just the two of us, Balax and Feral.
I'd say Balax and Feral and us and our mum is enough people.
I also want the elite boys there though, just because they're getting sent on a mission to do this.
Yeah, they just have the SAS.
Yeah, but they need to be at the meeting to know what's going on.
Okay, so they're not on the council. They're just... We grant them the rank of master, but they're not on the council.
I invite the council meeting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Alright, so you're just having your elite lads, plus Feral and Balax and Mama Mark X, and the two of you. So is that 9?
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So yeah, there'll be like the Fortress Temple will have some sort of like kind of appropriate room that might have been actually already set up as a war room, with like because Balax has like the table with the map and stuff on it, and all the little figures.
Well,
Yeah, he brought that with him.
figures from.
Hang on, did the audio just cut out?
What?
Oh, it freaked out on me there. Then I wasn't sure if something had gone wrong.
It's fine, alright.
But yeah, you guys. So yeah, so you Balax is like very well goes away and makes the appropriate arrangements and speaks to all the people involved, and then later on, after you've had dinner, nice big stew, pretty classic.
Yeah.
Classic military meal. You head up to the war room, and everyone's kind of assembled. They're all. Are you guys like the first there, or do you come in after everyone's already assembled?
Oh, that's cooler. Yeah, do that.
I just go with Balax whenever Balax arrives.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you guys hang out with Balax,
First there.
eat your dinner and everything, and then he's like, "Right, well they'll be waiting. Let's head up." So you head up, and Feral's there, Balax is there, Lady Markex is there, your mom's. Vroth, the big black dragonborn, he's there, and Sargon, who's I think a brass dragonborn or a copper dragonborn, he's there, and Kareth's there, and Baldar's there. That was everyone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys arrive, and they're there's chatter when you arrive. They're kind of talking amongst themselves, but then everything dies down as soon as you guys walk in. And then Balax sort of greets everyone. And he lays out the map and stuff, and puts a little chit on the Fortress Temple where you guys are, and puts a big kind of like a rook on scale, and he says,
quickly button here, Balax. When did you get the chit and the rook and the map and the?
I brought them, Commander. Captain's nothing without appropriate intelligence.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Please continue.
It rolls up. He demonstrates it rolling up, and the tube it comes in and stuff, and he puts the map back in the tube, and there's like other assorted pieces, and then he kind of resets everything up. So is this a standing council meeting or is it a sitting council meeting? Sitting. Okay, cool. All right. Just so I get the vibe right.
I'm guessing there's some kind of big table in there.
Yeah, there's like a big there's a big kind of round table, and there's like stools and chairs and stuff, and everyone sits down. Someone gets up and make sure all the candles are lit and everything, shed some more light on the situation, and then Balax says, My lords, what is to be done? Valasar knows our whereabouts, and he knows of the Scale Mother. We must act in some capacity. What are we to do?
You're right. We are pretty fucked.
There's some dissent at that. There's like,
Why would he have sent the Wyvern though instead of just an army to meet Thor and kill us? Why the Wyvern?
Balax makes like a gesture on the map, like circles like all the Alethor bit, and he says there'd be no way to be able to take an army through here.
Of course.
Yeah, he'd have to take it across. He'd either have to like ferry all his troops the whole bottom of the mainland, or just like cross so much land with a big army, which would be.
I mean, so he knows we're here, but as long as we're within Alethor, we're relatively safe.
Yeah, he can't do shit. Because otherwise, if he sends anyone here, then it'll just start a war with Alethor.
But he might be ballsy enough to do it then.
He might just be ballsy enough.
What do you reckon, Balax and all the people on this council? Should we move our base or hold our ground? The letters seem to be surprisingly friendly.
I think we should do both.
There's some kind of murmuring. Basically, everyone's like, no, we should stay here. But Balax is like,
yeah, I agree.
He says,
if we had a secondary base somewhere else.
He says, well, Balax is like, I don't know if it would matter, my lords. I think they'll be able. I mean, he's got resources. He's going to be able to find us wherever we go. I think more it is a question of taking the first moves rather than reacting to all of his moves, and he kind of like taps on like the chess piece.
Do you have anything in mind?
He says, I think we need more commanders. We need not just soldiers, but we need spellcasters, we need spies, we need ambassadors. If we're to make this, and he kind of makes a sort of gesture around the table. If we're to make this more than just a small rebellion, we're going to need more people and more skill sets than what we have, because steel is not going to be enough.
Yes. How do you think we should go about getting more people?
How does he think that?
I mean, it's got to be hard to find all these different types who care about our cause.
Without tipping off, giving more information to the enemy. Because he'll have some kind of intel within Alethor to find it.
It's more the fact, why would they join us?
Yeah, they don't really have any.
He says, well, he says the most straightforward way would be to take a page out of his book and start spinning up the propaganda machine, is what he calls it.
But then we could start a much bigger war than we intended.
He said, do not take your meaning, Commander.
We could cause more than we could cause Alethor and Rel and Mount Tor all to battle.
Yeah, we could start a region-wide war if we do that.
So yeah, there's some murmuring, and then Sargon, the kind of the most leaderly of your elite four, is like, respectfully, Commander, I think that is going to be inevitable either way. And Balax starts putting out like more pieces on the map while everyone's chatting, like different colors and stuff. You know, he put some green stuff up in Rel and some red stuff down in Alethor and some blue stuff over in Eastrath. And then he gets like a bit of paper out, and he's reading it, and then he kind of moves some of them around, and kind of sets up the board. with like where all the different pieces are and stuff, and you can see that there's a lot of the borders. There's pieces on the edges of the borders now of different colors. And he hands you the piece of paper, and he's like, "Yeah, that's troop movements from a few weeks ago, as best we can tell." And it looks like everyone is gearing up to protect their own interests. He says.
Maybe. Maybe we should call some kind of meeting of the different regions.
We don't have the power to do that, and those regions include scale. If we were to
Not
include
if we just
scale,
don't
scale
say.
would go one of the other regions.
What if we just got to fight you?
That's what I just said. And on the flip side to going to war, what do you think the chances are of being able to negotiate with Balasar? What do you think of this letter?
What did the letter say again?
Let me check.
The general gist with it was come over for tea or smooth things over.
Yeah, that was basically what he said. Hang on, if
I
I
think
can.
we're gonna show up and he's gonna shank us.
Probably, yes.
He's not exactly a good dude. In fact, he's a pretty bad dude. Yes, big bad.
I was just worried about setting it front.
Yeah, so the letter he sent you said, "Siblings, word has reached me of your newfound allies and accomplices. With the news that Mother remains alive, I realize I may have been untoward in our previous communications. I wish to extend an invitation for you and Mother to return to your rightful place in Cairn Tall, that we might put this messy business behind us and look to the future as a clan once more." And the reply you guys gave me said, "Brother, we would like to end this rivalry. However, what guarantee would we have that you would not harm us or our allies on our arrival? Narinn, Zorgar, and Mom."
Can I ask our mom what she thinks?
Yeah, she's known Zorga, Balasar the best and the best, I presume.
Are you asking her just in general, or like specifically about Valasar?
The letter. About the letter.
For the letter.
She thinks he's been.
She says,
Knew that would happen.
is everything alright?
Laptop, low power.
Alright, okay. She says, what does she say? She says, she says,
Sorry. What did she say?
she says, the boy I once knew would have sent that in good faith, but the boy he may now be, he may have trickery afoot.
Well, from what I know of Balasar and my experiences in the past would suggest this is most definitely a trap. However, we could still go to scale and play it to our advantage.
Hey, last time I saw him, he tried to kill me.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a meeting in Capital?
Yeah, and we had a fight.
I don't know.
Balax says, how would we play into our advantage, Commander?
I'm not sure how much Kaladin spoke to his clan, but just as an example, we may have clans within scale that are on our side. I'm not necessarily saying me or my brother has to rule, just that someone better than Balasar.
Or us. We could do it too.
There's some murmurings. And Balak says, "Well, what would you have us do then? Sail to scale, and try and rally the masses."
Not necessarily massive.
Well, we need to wait for Valasar's reply. I don't reckon he'll attack the fortress or do anything until he has replied to our message. So, for now, I was late to send the two boys I selected last time. I forget their names.
Sargon and Kareth.
Yes. How well trained are you two in spying?
They both kind of they look at each other, and then they look back at you and say, Kareth doesn't say anything, but Sargon's like, respectfully, Commander, I'm much better with a sword than with a mask.
I mean, I know people hire how it's extra tricky when Scale is the place we're trying to spy on. A Dragonborn spy would be particularly useful.
Yeah, these blend in. We do know other extremely sneaky people.
Jerome's like, are any of them Dragonborn?
No,
No,
because they're
thinking of
all
a drag.
mainlanders.
Mm.
I was thinking of a human. Is that the guy who broke onto my ship? He's more for murdering anyway.
He's my murder guy.
There's some kind of like murmuring around the table. Balax says, "Well, what about what do we do in the coming weeks then? What do we? Let's think in the short term."
Well, we need to prepare for a worst case scenario. So, if or Alathor is to come knock on our door, we need defense and escape routes.
He scribbles some stuff down.
Like, we can't just let what happened last time happen again of a wyvern just landing in the courtyard unopposed.
Sky troops.
We have archers. Next time, give them a warning shot. Call for them to land outside the gate.
Do they have flaming arrows?
Sure, they can make them.
I'm sure that wouldn't actually be that bad for them.
No.
He's like, very well, so we'll maintain our position, but be more wary.
Yeah, I would suggest finding to see if there's any secret routes out of the fortress. If not, making one.
Mm-hmm.
Like a tunnel.
Could do. And also just to have more guards watch, more people patrolling, making sure the temple is locked down.
Very well, Commander. I'll see to it. You can scribble some more stuff down.
Yeah, if the odds are against you, do not stay and die for this temple. Abandon the temple. But if you feel confident
good
in
temple.
victory, we can lose all our men in the temple.
Yeah, this is a sick temple.
Please ignore him. Also, if any of the Red Order are to return, obviously, you should notify me as soon as possible and abandon the temple.
Do you suspect they will be returning?
You never know.
They know we're here. They greatly outpower and outnumber us. I would say it's not so unlikely.
There's some grumbling.
I'm not sure if you heard about the Cowborn Keep incident, but you don't want a repeat of that.
I'm not familiar, Commander.
I'm assuming Farrell will be familiar. Besides that, I don't think anyone else would be.
Yeah, probably.
We used to own a castle in the Rel area, or Zorgar owned it.
Mm.
He was a knight of Rel. However, then the Red Order showed up while we were away and sacked the keep, killing everyone inside, bar 2. And we just returned to find the bodies and the ashes.
That prompts probably the most murmurings.
It's a very regretful incident.
The Red Order is not to be underestimated. We should also be concerned with how we're dealing with them as well as with Scale.
And how would you suggest, Commander? Have we gotten any information on them?
We have very little information on them besides the Red Order. You were here when the bishops were here. The Grand Bishops.
Yes.
The big eye one and the little one. It's like a wizard.
Yes, the one that looks suspiciously like your companion.
Yes, because it's a long story. Anyway, well, actually, you should probably know there is a clone. Well, Lida is a clone of that lady.
I don't understand what you mean, Commander.
The Lida is a copy of that lady, but that lady is evil. And
Like a
Lida
twin?
is good,
Like a twin.
but not born at the same time. The other one was created by the first one. Not like a daughter. They're the same age. They're the same person,
Right, I see.
but they're not.
Some sort of black magic, is what he says.
Yes, yes. So I now very get a wizard.
But we could get a wizard. I don't know if a Lida would be the best choice.
The wizard would have to live at the temple. We need quite a powerful wizard to scry and protect and hopefully set up
We know other wizards.
none spring to mind.
We've
Runus
met
is
we've
dead.
met some.
Runus dead?
Runus is dead.
Brunus is dead, yeah.
We've met some wizards through Lida.
Yeah, but they're all way too powerful and busy. We need someone who's powerful enough and has nothing on their plate. You wouldn't happen to know anyone, would you, Farrell? Despite that networker, isn't there?
Farrell's like, none spring to mind, but I can look if you'd like.
Yeah, we need a fairly powerful wizard, but they also need to be trustworthy. So we need a bit of that history.
Trustworthy. he
We
says.
don't want, we don't want a member of the Red Order getting in.
Do we have any? He says I'm not super familiar with wizards. Is there any way to? Do they have to? Is it like? Are they like the guards where they have to show you their ID or something? Do they? How do we? Is there a way to tell if they're evil?
It's best to after meeting or whenever she arrives at the temple. Don't know where she is right now. Oh, actually, I have a sending stone.
Call her.
Later.
We can literally call her.
Yeah, you could actually. Yeah. Can we add her? There, hang on.
She might be in a game of League right
She might be in a game of League right now.
I can go and check.
Sure. All right.
2 6.
How do I add someone on Discord?
to the call.
Yeah. And I just like.
There's. I'm not sure you can. I think we might have to go into a chat.
Oh yeah, of course, because there's an add friends.
Oh yeah, there is. Add friend to DM.
She's offline.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He thought this would only take an hour, Jake. He was sorely mistaken. She's playing League.
She said she'd come when she's done.
Okay.
Okay, we'll call
Discord's
Lida
broken.
towards the end of the meeting, I guess. Lida is not answering her sending stone. She's
It's gone to
probably
voicemail.
busy in cap.
The sending stones have voice.
Do you send it? No. They do not.
They send pictures now, though, right?
Yeah, they do send pictures, yeah.
Yeah, so we probably need a wizard.
Some sort of, because they arrived rather spontaneously the last time. So some sort of warding system, perhaps.
Yeah. The ward would
We need a security wizard.
pretty good. But like you said, we also need wizards for a battle against Scale.
It wouldn't take many.
So wouldn't
How
take
many are we looking at?
Maybe
5?
maybe 4 or 5. Yeah.
Oh, 4 for one. I was thinking like
It depends.
Powerful, man.
potentially going to war with Scale.
Yeah, but a wizard can do quite a lot of damage. Balax says.
How many wizards does Scale have then? Not a lot.
He says. I mean, there's only a handful over the continent, anyways. Most of them are just scholars. Real battle wizards. I'm talking.
Right. See. Battle wizards.
They're pretty rare, aren't they? I don't think I've met a battle wizard.
Well, your friend would be one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also need. It's sounding a lot like the temple is not the safest place to sit, but we still need a headquarters, like you said when we were sailing about in the ship. If we're going to build more allies, we need a place for them to come.
Yeah. He says yes. The Fortress Temple is probably as good a place as any. It's
It's fairly remote and pretty good.
I mean, our whole plan of sitting here unknown, though, out the window. Later,
We got a
get you
wizard.
on ascending.
We need a
Come
wizard.
through, please.
I want to be on screen right now.
You can sit
You
on
can
the side.
stand off screen.
What am I
We're calling Lidda on the sending stone now.
okay.
Lidda!
Hello?
If we need defenses in Cowborn Keep against the Red Order showing up again and
We need wizards.
potentially Scale, so we need a wizard who can sit at the keep.
Do you know any wizards?
You got any old pals from class that would be looking for employment? That would
Well,
get
we
paid.
have to pay them.
Yeah, we can pay them.
Yeah.
Do you know any battle wizards?
We need warding and anything else that would prevent, an army upheaving inside the keep.
Jake, would I know anyone?
Uh,
Be up to getting paid for something like this.
roll a d20.
Roll a d20
Have you got a dice there?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
can't
do.
hear him. I'm like, what?
for a reason. Pick one of the ones there. There's many.
Wait, that's
There's a metal one there if you want
Oh,
them.
yeah. I roll it on here. Is that okay?
Go for it. It's maybe loud, Jake.
8.
You are not aware of. You not get none spring to mind.
None spring to mind.
I could, does the Spire have any job posting sites? Or,
Like War's Deed?
Yeah,
a
they
couple of them?
they probably do. It's usually for stuff like research, like expeditions and stuff. But yeah, they've got that sort of thing.
Is putting that up in the notice board gotta be safe? We won't get someone from the Red Order being.
I could. Well, I don't have to say exactly what it's for. Just be capable of this.
Or could you contact one of the actual higher ups in the Spire and be like, do you have anyone you could recommend for the job?
Yeah, I can do that.
There you go.
I'll do that.
Okay.
What?
Calling you over the sending. Thing you keep. Thing
Well,
you
we can't
temple.
see you on the stream because you're coming over sending.
Yeah. Voice inside it. What kind of thingy of magic is warding?
What like group of it?
Yeah, because that's probably who I should.
I think it's abjuration.
Abjuration.
That's all the blocking shit.
Abjuration wizard higher up.
Like Animus is the head of the school of abjuration.
And
be so hard to get hold of something.
Thingy, battle planet, battle realm.
The battle realm.
Have you guys got the Discord noise suppression turned on? Did you cutting in and out a bit?
Maybe. Never a setting I've turned.
I think it may be auto on.
That'll do it.
I think it's just because it's trying to get 3 people.
Wait, no. Echo cancellation.
noise
Yeah, it might be that.
suppression.
Might be echo cancellation. If either of them are wrong.
Is there? Should I turn off echo cancellation as well?
Yeah, probably.
There we go. Is that any better?
I guess we'll see. It seems okay so far.
Okay.
I don't think it was that okay, but it's fine. We can make it work. Yeah, so they're just gonna try and find a capable wizard.
Capable.
Yeah.
Or if it's just friend.
It's like there's a noise gate on it or something.
Still there?
Turned off.
Yeah, a little bit. It's actually worse now.
Fuck. There's like a noise gate. Turn off gain control.
Is that worse?
No, I can't really hear you at all.
Not at all, because I turned. Should be able to hear us now.
Yes.
What's... Is this not open?
No.
It just senses.
How do you do open mic?
Like change the ultimate like
Yeah, take that off.
No.
yeah, that should be.
Alright,
Is this better?
that seems better.
Yay.
What was it?
We weren't on open mic.
Oh, were you just pushing to talk?
Nah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we were on voice
activation.
Ah, okay. Sure. That'll be it, yeah. Cool, okay. So yeah, so that is gonna look into wizards.
You're looking into wizards.
Like, is that what that is doing as well?
Yeah, I think it's along the lines of contacting Animus to see if he knows anyone who...
If he has any students that are high levels.
Like friends.
Yeah, anyone that would be willing to take the job.
Yeah. We will pay.
Because it's like takes a year to do this shit. Like a full year.
Oh boy. But is there anything they can do in the meantime for like, not necessarily preventing, but being able to see it coming?
What do you mean?
Like, kind of like an alarm, if something was to enter the fortress.
I think it detected it.
Like it would. Oh, I don't know.
Like if an unknown person just appeared in the fortress, a siren would go off alerting people.
It probably is something like that.
I think there's a spell called Alarm that does that.
Something like that.
There's a spell called alarm.
Yeah, but that's not really a.
Isn't that on items? Like if someone like touches the item or opens the bag or something?
I think you can also do it for areas.
You're casting on a whole castle then, or like a whole fort.
Like it'll be a certain. I think it's usually stuff like you can alarm like a room. I think it depends on the level you cast it.
Right. Okay.
It would also have to be either the person knows the special word so that the alarm doesn't go off, or you have to like choose who's allowed to be in. So if there's anyone that's new that's like, oh, they can come in, you're probably gonna have a
Okay.
bit of trouble.
Cool. Also, I have a quick question, Jake. Is the sending stone like on speaker? Can everyone in the room hear it, or is it just in my head? And I have to
It's probably just in your head.
Okay, I'm relaying this information.
Okay.
Can I hear it?
Yeah, you get like a slight delay on it.
Sending stone.
Oh, you do have a sending stone, yeah.
Everyone's
We've
hearing
got
this.
group chat.
Everyone in the group's hearing this.
Rurak and fucking Mount
Rex's
Tor.
like, turn it off.
I'm trying to sleep.
Someone's just like pooping.
Cool. So we've put out the vacancy for wizard. We're just waiting to hear back now.
1 year experience isn't necessary.
Would be appreciated then.
to at least have now 5 mouths.
Balax is like, yeah, very well. That's an excellent, certainly a good step forward. At least if we can have a bit of warning, or not have to deal with that sort of thing at all.
Yes. It will, as Lit has informed us, take us about a year for a wizard to set up a ward that will prevent people from entering.
The whole chamber is like kind of like the murmuring is more like, what the fuck? A year? What are you talking about? A year? What?
What's he saying?
Can it be like sped up if you have many wizards? Like if you had like 50 wizards in a circle?
Well, the whole thing is like it just has to be cast like in the same place every day so that it becomes permanent rather than like an hour long or 24 hours long.
But what if you had 2 wizards doing it? Then you'd have like double the magic.
No, I'm not sure.
I mean, it's fine for
Jake,
Narinn
how's
to
it
say
work?
these things. He's not magical at all.
Zorgar probably wouldn't know.
If that works,
His descendants don't let him right now.
Oh, you're still on the like you cast a spell and it wards for an amount of time, and it just becomes permanent after you cast it for a year.
Right.
But what if you have more people doing it?
If you have more than, I don't think it makes a difference. I think it's just like, has it been cast once today, then
Cool.
it counts towards a year. But you can't get like 365 wizards to come and cast the spell at the same time and just make it permanent.
We need to find 365 wizards. Yeah, okay, cool. I guess that's a step has been taken.
Do we hear them? Do we hear anything back from them yet? How long do we have to wait?
You mean we just spoke to Lita? There's not got to be an instant response. She hasn't even spoke to
There
Animus
might be
yet.
guys
someone
don't
trolling
have any,
job sites looking for jobs.
We don't want to just put it on a job site though, because then the Red Order could enter. We want someone Animus knows. Trustworthy.
you don't have like, you don't have any wizard specialists in your army or anything, have you?
No, this
that's
is
what we
one of the
want.
things we were discussing is we need wizards.
We need wizards, yeah.
Yeah, the only person we knew before was Runus, but Runus is kind of dead.
Yeah, he also couldn't
doing so
cast spells because he didn't have a tongue.
Yeah, that's
That too. Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
shit
sucks.
wizarding.
Well, it wasn't shit until he got his tongue cut out, you know.
He was a good wizard before. It's a shame.
Anyway, yes.
I'll get back to you on the wizard thing now.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you for your time.
Bye bye, later.
Bye.
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 Talk to
Bye.
you later.
Bye. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, there we go.
Balax says, well, hopefully that will yield some results. But what about intelligence? That would be our other main area we're lacking in. We need eyes and ears.
I know someone who is very good with eyes, however, they don't care for any cause, let alone ours. It would take
Do they care about money?
They do, they
care
love
about
money.
Well, what's their price?
Probably pretty high.
Mulbrin!
Can we get Mulbrin in here?
Yeah, if Malbrin's about, sure, go for it.
Mulbrin! Hello!
Malbrin was in the stream. I don't know if she's still here.
She's about to be.
I can't tell who's here. I'll put a message in them.
Mulbrin! This is just like the cameo appearances.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Mulbrin has been watching, so she's up to date.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah,
she's not.
you left the call a little bit ago, right? Our army needs eyes and ears. We know you don't care for our calls at all, but how much do you care for money? This is what we're calling it for. How much money would it take? We need spies. We understand your business.
What
and to
do
be a
you need them
successful
for?
business. We need spies, some of which to enter scale, others to kind of stay on the mainland and just kind of update us. on goings?
Cummings.
Basically to be hooked up to the network.
Well, I would probably say I'll get back to you,
Fair enough.
and then I can't hear you at the minute, Jake. But I'd
He's not
probably
talking.
I know, but I don't have headphones.
I'm just reeling.
But I'd probably say that I would. I wouldn't say this to them, but I would write a letter to Lyle, being like, "Yeah, this is a proposition." What
This
do
is
you
the
think?
point where you're with Lyle.
Is it? And you've sent it me.
At that point in
Yeah.
time, we're on the sending stone.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd say that to Lyle then.
Just go have a wee chat, leave the sending stone in one boom, and then go chat to Lyle.
Well, I would hang up. This
Well.
isn't 1 sec. This is I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Pass Mulburn the headphones then.
Right. Hang on.
Should I take mine off?
It'd be more immersive, I guess.
Get off.
Yeah, get him on.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm here, Jake.
Okay. So yes, you head in to see Lyle, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
So we've been propositioned by the boys, the Dragon Boys,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
to have some spies for them, whenever they try and take over Scale.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, are they gonna pay us?
They said that, and then they left it at how much do you want?
Well, I mean, how much do you like them?
I mean, they're alright.
So we don't want to totally rinse them then. But like,
No, not fully. I mean, I think they'll need it.
well, I mean, because you guys, you're pretty high rollers, right?
Some of us.
So like, what about? Well, I don't know. Why don't we charge them like 10 or 20,000 gold or something? You know, does that seem fair? Is that too much of a rinsing?
Well, now I'm not sure. Do we want it to be a flat price, or do we want it to be a kind of wage?
Oh, I mean, how many? Oh, I guess it depends. How many folk do they want?
I'm not sure, but I guess it does depend. I imagine they'd want like maybe around 5, maybe.
5, yeah. I mean, we've got 5. We got, you know, we get you 5 by tomorrow afternoon.
So we could just have like a for 5 men, we want such and such price.
Yeah, because we're gonna, you know, I mean, it's gonna have to send them all the way at fucking Scale and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be, you know, that's gonna be expensive, and then they're gonna. I mean, do they? Like, obviously, we shouldn't ask them, but are they sure that they want like because we don't have any Dragonborn, so they're gonna stick out.
No. Yes, they would. Yeah, so that's an issue because then it could be either it's up to them if they want to take that risk, but then it's also up to us if we think that risk of them getting noticed is enough.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, if it was like Redcrest or somewhere, I'd say, you know, charge them like 10 grand. But sending them to Scale, it's gonna be more dangerous for them, so it should command a higher price, surely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, I'd say 1,000 gold per man per month, maybe.
Yeah.
Does that seem fair to you? Obviously, they want to see all of that. We'll skim a little off the top for, you know,
Yep.
you know, finder's
Okay.
fee.
I'll relay that to them and then let you know.
All right, are you on the? Oh, you got the stones, then? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give them a call back.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Right. I guess I'll call. I'll call the boys back again then.
Boys are here. Or a boy is here.
Yeah, where's the other boy?
Sit here.
The other boy is taking a whiz.
Ooh, spicy.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not as well.
So we've got 2 pairs of headphones and 3 pairs of ears.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
We can
Finn and I can go like this for a little bit.
get 3 pairs of headphones.
It's a hassle. Just do this for a little bit.
Okay.
Cool.
So that I'm ringing you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. How many men are you wanting?
Balax, how many men do you reckon we need?
Well, are they dragonborn or are they humans, or something else?
Mostly. Well, let's just say none of them are dragonborn. I'm not even sure how many of them are human.
He kind of like furrows his eyebrows, and he's like, well, the more of
He has eyebrows.
he's got kind of ridges, I guess. Kind of furrows his ridges. Yeah. He says, well, it's gonna, if they're not, dragonborn would be ideal because they're not gonna stick out as much. So we probably don't want too many because if 10 or however many arrive, then all of a sudden there's 10 random humans that have just turned up, and they probably keep an eye on that sort of stuff. I don't know, maybe like somewhere between 3 and 5. It's up to you,
5.
Commander.
So I'll say 5. 5
sounds good.
would be a good starting point, but if you hire any dragonborn in the future, that would be very beneficial.
Okay.
We could possibly fund the hiring if you want.
Possibly. I think we can be in negotiations for that.
Cool.
How long are you expecting to be needing them?
We have no clue on length, but initially we just kind of want to see what our brother is up to with... Oh, we received a letter the other day from our lovely brother.
Alright.
He's inviting us to scale for some tea.
That's very beneficial.
Yeah, except for it's most definitely he's got a shankers.
Slightly less beneficial.
Yep. So initially we just want people to see what his plan is, and also to see if anyone would align with our cause on scale, any of the major clans.
Okay.
You may need to be filled in on some dragonborn
Shit.
politics.
Probably. So like you don't have any idea of like even a minimum time frame.
Balax, do you have any idea on a minimum time frame we would need for this?
Well, it depends on your own plans, Commander. If you're expecting to just sort of watch how things go for a few months and then mount an assault, then we'd only need them for a few months. But if you want to play a longer game, then that's your call.
Would it be possible to do a few month trial? Do like 4 months, and then if we need them any longer, we will
Extend the
rediscuss.
contract.
Yeah, rediscuss our contract. But initially, 4-ish months
To start with.
Okay.
I would also like to quickly point something out. At what point did Zorgar find out about Malbrin's out of school activities?
Right now.
Because Narinn knew
What does Narinn know though?
that he tried to attack a syndicate base, and Malbrin was very unhappy with
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Syndicate? Not the syndicate. We've had many dealings with them.
1,500 gold per month per man.
Oh,
15
man.
Wait, 15 what?
1,500 gold per month per man.
He's fucking pricey.
Hang on, let me just cover.
And we can do that for your however many month trial that you want, and then we can perhaps negotiate something else.
Can I quickly cover the stone and put it out of hearing reach, and quickly
That's how
talk
much
to
gold we're looking at.
talk to Balax?
Sure, yeah.
We afford to pay these spies per month.
I'm not the treasurer, Commander.
Who is?
Everyone kind of looks at each other and they're like, there's a lot of kind of like some people point at Balax, and Balax kind of points at you, and some people point
Well,
at
you're
like
the
your
treasurer
mum,
now.
and
You're the treasurer of this committee now.
One, you don't have authority to do that, and two, he can't do two jobs. Find a treasurer, someone who's good with money. That's been added to the list.
find a treasure.
For now, do you have a rough idea of how much money we have?
This meeting is such a train wreck.
Like so like there's not really like a kind of
Don't
a
have
campaign
budget
fund,
for a treasurer.
if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
the
just
8th Legion.
out of my pocket. So
Yeah,
far,
pretty
how
much, yeah.
The Legion has. Fuck me. Out of my pocket. Shit, my pockets are pretty
I
shallow.
don't think your pockets have this much gold.
Hello, Mulberry.
Hello.
Right, so we may only be needing to hire.
One.
How much of that?
Could we make a different arrangement?
That's much
What
more
are you
affordable.
thinking?
I am thinking you lower the price significantly in
And
exchange to fill up the rest of the price. If you should ever require the services of my men or my ship, they are at your disposal. If you are ever in need of a small raiding party or a ship to transport your spies somewhere. For
Lower it to what?
missions.
4
gold.
500 gold per person per month.
Oof. A big reduction.
It's not what you can afford. Shut up.
I'm broke. I spent all my money on this fucking temple.
This temple's a fucking gold sink.
It is. I spent a lot of gold on this.
So that still equates to 1,500, and we're only looking for 3. Because we can't afford more than that
That's for 1 month.
for 1 month. Yeah.
Considering the risk, I will not go lower than 1,000.
That's fair, to be honest.
Deciding wrong here. Fuck off, Zorgar. I'm cutting him off the call. I'm throwing his stone out of the room. Going any lower than 1,000. Jake, I don't have my character sheet on me. I don't have 1,000 now, I'm assuming.
Let me check. D&D Beyond.
I'm fairly sure I have a couple hundred.
950.
My campaigns.
We can set up, a loan with interest. if you
Oh,
want.
okay.
How much interest are we talking?
Let me talk. Let me get back to you on that.
Or
Yeah, Narinn has 39 gold on his character sheet.
I know in the notes section though there's the crew funds, but I'm fairly
Oh,
sure
sure.
that's for the crew.
Yeah, you got 500 gold as
How
crew
much
money.
gold do I
apparently.
How
much gold have you got? I think you got fuck all, mate.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
spent it all.
I
Because
think I've got like 50 gold.
Probably something like that. Like, I mean, you guys have a lot of money in your collective group fund.
Oh, that's true.
that would be Niall paying himself.
Not money.
Yeah, Zorgar has 45 gold in his character sheet.
I don't know if the group are going to go for this, to be honest.
I mean, I would be willing to have a suspended payment with interest.
We can make some money. We can start selling shirts.
I whispered to Balax, we need to rearrange who can attend these more meetings in the future.
Yeah, Balax, you're not coming next time. You know, he didn't even provide us with the treasurer.
Right. We might have to get back to you, Mulberry.
No worries.
We need to sort out
I say we
some
do.
financial stuff. See, we do it. The guy with 49 quid is paying nothing.
Okay, well, just let me know.
Will do. We shall inform you
Shortly.
at some point.
As soon as we know.
And I will tell Lyle that that's the sitch.
It's a
And
pending contract.
pending contract, and it could come to extended loan with interest.
Sure.
Money.
He's like, you're the brains.
Out of curiosity, while we're discussing this, do you have a rough idea of how much interest you will be charging? And is it per month or is it per day?
Well, I mean, technically it'd be like the same thing, because like if you went like halfway through a month,
Okay,
it'd be
yeah.
half of that, you know. But no, I'll have to get back to you.
Cool. For now, back to the War Council discussion.
Right, I'm out.
See you later,
Bye-bye.
Malcolm.
Over now.
Bye, Malvern.
Back in the game.
Right, so Balax, I'm not sure how much of that I relay to you, but allow me to relay it to you now. He wants lowest £1,000 per man for a month. Per month.
It's steep. Are they good?
They're good, man.
All I know is about their leader, the one I was just talking to. They are good.
Mm.
So
How much would they
I
charge?
assume, a lot more.
Huh.
But I assume since they are good, they will have trained their people good,
That would follow.
presumably.
Maybe a dangerous
Common
assumption.
at most. Maybe. What do you think? We need ways of raising money, it would seem, if we are to hire spies.
Have a fundraiser.
Hey, brother, could you lend us
We have a donation
couple of
drive.
grand?
Balax is like, well, normally in this position, a noble lord would levy taxes against the people on their land, but we don't have land as such,
We don't have people.
or people.
What would you think of sending a couple of the men to this person instead to have trained as spies?
Well, how much would they charge for that?
Probably
That
more.
would have to be negotiated again,
It might be a better option.
but it would also take longer.
Yes, but it would be a permanent asset for us for as long as, well, gruesome circumstances notwithstanding.
Well, how much time do we have? Do we have a lot of time on our hands? Or-
No.
It's difficult to say, Balax says.
Yeah.
We would maybe maximum be able to give them 2 months of training before we would probably require them for at least scale.
Well, you can do a lot in 2 months.
That's true. I mean,
We couldn't fully train them as like properly good spies in 2 months.
do you know anyone speaking to fuck, I'm still needing to learn his name. What's my lead of my elites called?
Sargon.
Sorgon. Do
Sargon.
you know if any boys or girls within the ranks have shown any particular skill in stealth?
Well, we have some of the archers have done scout work before. We've got the black barbs. Those rangers
Yeah.
that we picked up in Meriden.
Oh,
They look
Yeah.
like they look like scouts.
They're Dragonborn, no?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
They were the 8th Legion.
you've got the 8th Legion. They were just mercenaries,
Ah,
I think.
cool.
But they might have been in a legion before then. I think they were.
Yeah. Okay, we might need to select a few of those. So we got a wizard on the line. We've got potential lineup for spies. We just need to sort out money in any case.
I mean, how do you normally raise money?
Me personally,
Hmm.
I'm on a ship. As Farrell will inform you, well, not so much recently myself, but we typically run undercover merchant missions.
The only way I've ever got money is from being a soldier and from completing like quests for people.
The other option is we could ally with someone who has the money.
Probably Alathor would be the best people to talk to.
I don't think they would. I would opt for Mount Tor.
Yes. Now we're back to the last council.
What about the Wood Elves?
They don't care.
They do care.
I don't think they do.
You weren't at the meeting.
What meeting?
The meeting I was at. The Wood Elves very much did care. They were pretty in favor of. Oh, the audio just changed.
Did it? Is it fine? Is it bad?
A lot of windy noises.
Well, windy noises.
Don't know what it is.
They're still there.
Yeah.
It just sounds like it's picking up like more ambient noise now.
Oh, that's weird.
It was like a gain boost or something. Yeah, at the last meeting, the leader
That's
of
a
the Wood
different
Elves
thing though. This is
was,
us starting a rebellion.
Yeah, but the leader of the Wood Elves was very like against Valasar.
I mean, I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, but the
The
Wood
issue
Elves were
is-
the ones that they wanted to start basically just like a republic where you could. There wasn't a leader of the whole region. It wasn't like a king of Tilia. It was just.
It's a different matter currently.
Yeah, it is, but I think that they would be. I think their politics will align more with what we're doing.
Do their forces meet what we require?
What are the Wood Elves' forces like?
Are you asking Jake or are you asking Balax?
Both.
Both. Balax probably doesn't know anything. Really? Balax probably knows about as much as Zorgar does in that no one is super sure how many Wood Elves there are, or how well trained they are,
Are
or
they up in the Viridian?
yeah, they're up in the Viridian, so they're just up in this big forest, and they don't really let other people in there, so no one knows how many they are, how well trained they are, what their kind of motivations are. They're a big kind of just a sort of unknown quantity. Like, no one even really knows where the capital of the Wood Elves is.
Maybe bringing up the whole getting support was a bad idea because then we would be in debt. We'd be starting a new scale that's in debt.
Hmm.
We don't want to be in debt to one of the baronies.
Could be in debt to Mulburn though.
Yeah, but her interest rates are going to be extreme.
That's true, but
And I would like to point out her spies are also trained assassins.
that's
So
good.
I'm afraid if we don't pay her back, I don't think she'll
bad.
care much about how much she likes us, because I don't even think it's that much.
Is it still weird and windy?
No,
No, that's fine.
it's fine.
Alright, okay, that's fine.
So, Feral.
Hmm.
You're the most experienced here, even more than myself, in earning money. We need to earn a lot of money, fast, in the least sketchy manner possible.
Yeah, we need thousands of gold.
He kind of like as you open that sentence, he gets ready to say something, and then you're like in the least sketchy way possible, and he's like
I mean, I'd like to hear your sketchy idea just in case it might work. But, you know, we don't want to implement ourselves so much as
We want to do this the right way.
wrongdoers.
He says, I mean, well, the highest paying jobs are, of course, the sketchiest ones.
Yeah, the last
If we did
time
work for
the
one of the-
job didn't go so well.
Yeah,
How
he
much money
says,
could we get then for these sketchy jobs?
Thousands.
Tens of thousands? Or?
depends.
Depends how sketchy the work is.
Depends who's looking to hire, what they're looking to hire to do.
Also, I'm not sure we have the best reputation with certain employers anymore.
He says, well, yeah, I would suspect the syndicate probably no longer an option. And like as the two of you are talking, like the soldiers are kind of like looking around at each other and just like kind of watching what's happening.
Do I see them looking kind of?
They just look a bit surprised / confused.
I'm going to quickly explain myself and just be like, didn't know I was a prince for a while. I was raised in a simple manner.
An illegal manner.
Shut up, you.
Farron's like, we did all right. We did fine.
We did good.
Yeah.
I think you did a fantastic job, Farron.
Thanks. Oh. It's all going wrong. If you're watching the Twitch stream, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Looks like there's some technical difficulties down the road. Are they? Oh, stuff's happening. I'm gonna check the windy noise. That's fine. So yeah, this is just a little interlude thing I meant to do a couple episodes ago, but didn't really get a chance to do. There's a couple more coming. I think I'm doing one with Rick on Monday. I've got some stuff to do with Malbrin, the Rogue, various other people. Come on, lads. Very professional production we got going on here. Oh, there was a pop.
Hello.
Hello.
Viewers now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you're away again.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
it's just switched to the microphone on the webcam. I think Finn might have actually broken my microphone.
Oh no.
Let's check. 1 sec.
Hello?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, no, it's fine. There
Yeah.
we go. It's all good. It's taken quite a few falls, so it might have just been over time.
No, it's all good. It's working.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I snagged the cable and it pulled the mic forward.
Is it MD1A or?
No, it's Matthew Snowball.
Oh, sure, yeah. So where were we at before? You were chatting to Farrell. He's like,
Yeah, about raising funds.
he says, I mean, well, you all seem to make a goodly amount of money by delving into all those dangerous ruins.
Unfortunately, that money is split between... How many of us there are? Seven. Split between 7. I have spent all of my money funding this army and this crew. I am currently left with the money that is on the ship. There's no money on the ship. Don't go looking for it. Don't spend it on booze.
There's only 6 of us.
There's a small amount of money left that is meant for paying the crew and keeping the ship repaired and stuff like that.
I don't think the crew are going to be willing to not get paid, so...
No, I'm not sacrificing their pay at all. They've been loyal crew members, they deserve to be paid.
That's how you start in uni.
Am I saying they're loyal crew members and they deserve to be paid?
No, by not paying them.
No, they're getting paid. I trust them with my life anyway.
Pay them in rum.
We don't have a lot of rum left, I don't think.
Whose fault is that?
No one's. We're a strong drinking crew, okay?
Yeah, there's some murmurings among the folk that are there, and Balax is like, well, the options I see would be to hire ourselves out as stealth swords, find money in those dangerous ruins you're discussing, taking up banditry, which I don't think we should do, or finding some source of workable land which we can raise an income off through resources or taxes or similar, or find a generous benefactor.
Benefactor has consequences because they will want some form of payment in return. Sellswords and outlaws, that wasn't the word you used, but you know what I mean. The people of Scale aren't happy enough with Valasar. They don't want a bunch of outlaws and sellswords stealing their country back and saying it's for the better. Leaves us in a tricky spot. How habitable is this area if we were to coax people to come here and start?
He says, "So I mean, it's perfectly workable. I'm not a druid or a farmer, but the land seems people around here seem happy, and the land is perfectly serviceable. We've got wood in the forests, and presumably stone and metal in the hills."
How much of a fuss do you think Alethor would kick up about this?
He crosses his arms and he kind of sits and he's like, "It's difficult to say. I feel like if they were going to kick up a fuss, they might have already kicked up one about the fact that we're here with an army. They might not be aware of that yet."
I'm fairly sure our good friend or at least I think our good friend in our party, Lyda, sweet talked him a little because she owns a bit of land here in Rel as well, in Alethor.
He says, "How did you generate money when you were in Homer?"
We didn't really.
We had people living there.
We
That
had
were
people
pretty
move
true.
over from the city of Rel, and they just kind of set up their own livelihood.
So I guess we were taxing it.
Mm. Can I ask Mother Markax? You've gone to war in the past. I know, presumably, you've always been at the top of scale, so money has never been an issue. But
No, I
do you
started.
have any ideas?
As soon as you say, presumably you've always been at the top of scale. Like everyone, like there's kind of always like a gentle sort of kind of whispering back and forth, and everyone just kind of quietens down. And she says, "No, I was lowborn," is what she says. But I signed up with the military and worked my way up.
I see. So then I don't suppose you have much experience in raising funds for that military, as that military was probably funded by Scale.
When your father and I were in the Glass Palace, it was all, and the treasury comes from the people.
So digging at different sources here, do you have any contacts in Scale who might assist us?
You mean sympathizers?
Yeah.
Potentially rich
Obviously,
ones.
Kaladin himself and his army are sympathizers, and they came and seeked us out. So I hope there are more.
I could. She kind of stops and she's like, I've not been there for so long. It's difficult to tell who's still around. Who'd still remember me, but I can write some letters, if you wish.
If you think it would be wise, I wouldn't like these letters to be intercepted by Valasar.
So is he involved in the post office?
We'll have men.
Balax says he's involved in everything now.
He had a letter delivered to us on a wyvern. It's pretty sick. Does anyone at this table have any idea as to how we could raise enough funds to pay my contact for their services? The wizard we also need to pay, but I presume that's going to be a fair amount cheaper than these spies. Fortunately, we can't bank this entire war on sympathizers, because otherwise we're always going to have the lower hand, underhand, whatever.
What do they say? Everyone kind of sits and ponders, but no one really suggests anything. Balax says after a while, he says, unfortunately, it seems quite a lot like you need money to make money.
Is there any kind of lottery?
I mean, there's over 100 of us in this fortress. 100 lottery tickets raises our chances quite a bit.
Is there a
But then again,
lottery?
the troops
I don't think there
don't
is.
have money, do they? It's all my
There's
money.
no lottery?
Like, there probably is lotteries, but they're like
To
dodgy.
Sheep and shit.
Yeah.
Those were two different answers. Well, then I guess we are left with no choice but to find a benefactor.
What kind of benefactors do we have that we could contact?
The only people wealthy enough to fund us that I can think of are barons of regions in Rinn. I struggle to think of anyone else who would have the wealth to fund us.
That isn't heavily involved with other higher ups.
Actually, are there not some fairly wealthy people in Meriden?
Yeah, there's like basically anyone who
1%ers.
yeah, there's like there's whole neighborhoods of Meriden that are like 0.1%ers. Like all the like the people that run like Imperial Rail and stuff like that.
Oh, it's not nationalized?
No, because it's an offshoot of the Artificers.
Oh, of course. What do you think? Reach out to a baron, a more reliable, dependable fund, however, will ask something potentially a lot worse of us.
Balax says.
The benefactor in Meriden.
Balax says, well, they'll want a piece of scale.
We can provide that.
No, that's not on the table. What are you on about?
It's obviously dependent on if everything goes well, but
That is not on the table. We are not handing a piece of scale over to the mainland.
He says the barons would want a hand in the running of things, and the money men would want the dragon glass or something like that. There's always
that might be more.
no one ever does anything out of the goodness of their heart in that sort of scenario.
That's true. And benefactors in Meriden? What are the downsides there?
That's what he meant by like they'll want like dragon glass or something.
Money makers. Right, I see. So we either sell ourselves out and our work, or we sell out part of our country.
I go for the first option.
Well, I refuse to give up any part of the scale to the mainland, so I guess that only leaves us with the first option if none of the barons would take anything else.
He says, not unless you have one of the barons in your pocket.
We don't have a baron in our pocket, but we are good friends with, what's his name? Mr. Mount King.
Grom.
Grom.
Yeah.
King Grom. We did him a service once. He did pay us for it.
Yeah.
But, We
Didn't
are
pay me.
allied.
What would he get out of it?
Friends.
What do the dwarfs require? They're already blacksmiths and got
Yeah.
mines to fill their pockets.
They're pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, he says.
An ally? A more powerful ally?
For the war?
For the war that's bound to come. Rella's at their throats, are they not? Or is Rella at Alathor's throats? I forget. now.
They're all. It's all the human baron. He says the barons are all infighting amongst one another, and the Alathor hates the dwarves, and he says I lose track of it. But I suspect that if the war comes, they'll just close the mountain doors and be done with it.
Maybe we should ask him himself what he would want out of it.
Yes.
But we should also probably have a proposal on the table.
We should have some idea of what. We should have some idea of how to make it worth as well.
What are the main exports of scale?
Dragon glass.
There's dragon glass. There's a lot of resources and other things that you can only really find on scale because it's kind of tropical. So there's scale fruits and stuff like that, like scale produce.
I have the feeling dwarves won't be that keen for fruits.
Is there any rare metals you can only find on scale?
Dragon glass, not even a metal.
There might be, yeah, there might be some.
Because the dwarves might be interested in that. I know they like that kind of thing.
I'll check and get back to you. Yeah, there's there's a lot of gems and stuff on scale. You've got the drakes as well. They're not really exported, but they're valuable.
They belong on scale though.
And there's other kind of there's animals that you can only find on scale, like dinosaurs are only really in scale. There's some in the Greenwell as well.
So there's very little we have to offer.
There's not an awful lot we can offer a dwarf, no. I'm sure they'd like the class, but one of them, Froth, the big black dragonborn, is like, well, they wouldn't respect it anyways, would they? They'd be, perverting it and turning it into whatever dwarves make.
Dwarfs make some good craft.
They're skilled craftsmen.
We've experienced this firsthand.
He kind of shuts up. He just kind of. Balax says, is there any? Have you worked up any other favors in your time?
We had Rel's favour, but now I'm fairly sure they want us dead or in jail.
Yeah, they're not big fans.
Ah. You said from one of our rune jobs we could get some money. I just thought of a job that would absolutely have a ton of money involved.
What's that?
Very, very dangerous there.
What is it?
We did not have a good job with the last time we did this kind of job.
What is it?
Balax kind of just looks at you expectantly, with his arms crossed.
How well do you think our army would fare against a dragon?
Pretty fucking well.
They kind of they all kind of look at each other and they're like, and Balax is like, well, that would be a dangerous proposition.
Very dangerous indeed. However, we all know that dragons have quite a horde. I myself have transported a dragon's hoard. Unfortunately, did not get to claim any of it.
Well, who did get to claim it?
Rel, as we had to pay for our crimes by killing the dragon, but they also afterwards claimed we had to give them all of our earnings from killing the dragon.
But that could get us a hefty sum.
There will be a lot of gold there.
Well, what's the dragon?
It's a green dragon, as far as we know.
Balax spits on the floor. He's like, it's not worth the air it breathes, I think is what he said.
Okay, so you're in.
Well, where is it? What's any more information?
Well, it burnt a village called Kilmore.
Mm-hmm.
That's already given me enough reason to kill it right there. We killed a black dragon before that apparently is why it was searching for us and burned Kilmore, is because it was looking for us. I'm not sure if it was tied to the black dragon in any sense, but the black dragon took quite a toll on us. Almost finished a few of us off. Did finish off quite a well-respected member of our party, a ram.
R.I.P.'s rebel.
He's like, and where would we find it?
I don't know exactly where its lair is, but I know we could start the trip Kilmore where it was last seen.
I'm sure we could track it down.
And where's Kilmer? Is in Rel, isn't it?
Yeah.
He kind of
We
like
have to
taps
march
a.
an army into Rel. But I'm sure Farrell and I could figure out a way to smuggle 100 or so men through their defences.
Could be a challenge, but I think we could do it.
The bigger issue is how we would deal with a green dragon. I don't want to lose half of our men fighting this thing. There's no point in losing half of our men for money that we then need to use to buy more men.
But we've got some strong fighters that I think we could.
I've already asked a lot of them and they won't want to do this.
No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, we already have access to some strong fighters among our troops.
Not strong enough, I'm afraid. We fought a black dragon and we almost died.
But we didn't.
We would need a solid plan. Maybe some extra help.
We might not have stronger men, but we've got more men.
The issue is if we reel our party into it, they'll want a cut. If we don't reel our party
They're
into
generous people.
they're not generous people. They'll want an equal cut.
Melbourne isn't generous, but Rurak and Lita and Muir, they're all generous.
I would like to
Ratham?
think that they would think we owe them one.
They might ask us to owe them one, but that's fair.
I think it is wise to probably look for other means, other people, other ways of dealing with this dragon.
How else could we do it?
Well, that is
We
yet
know
to be
that
discussed.
this is capable.
Well, we don't know that. The green dragon, I predict, is more dangerous than the black dragon.
I know, but we know that we know their fighting level, we know their skill, we know that they're capable of fighting.
First of all, let's discuss, is the risk worth it? There are other options on the table. We can try and ally with a barony, or we can try and find a benefactor in Merida. Or we can smuggle ourselves into Rel, fight a dragon and steal his loot, and try and smuggle his loot back here.
I like that plan.
I hope to see Farrell's face light up as I suggest this.
Yeah. Like they're like kind of everyone at the table. Like as soon as you bring up the dragon idea, they're all like they're all kind of smiling.
Yeah.
And Balax says, well, he says one of those ideas is definitely riskier than the other, but with greater risk comes greater reward, isn't it?
That's true.
I think you're bang on.
We have to remember the risk isn't only the dragon, it's Rel. If they've taken this money from their lands, they won't be so happy.
Yes, we could be in some shit.
Well, they're already not
Which
happy
then
with
will
us.
want them. That's true, but this might push them to the age where they may wish to march on us, and if they do, Alethor will either. I don't see Alethor standing in their way for us.
Hmm.
However, I still think it is our best option.
I think it's our best and most fun option.
Okay, let's not say most fun. People's lives are on the line.
Balax says I would be inclined to agree, Commander. It is the most dangerous but most beneficial.
Then, if everyone at this council agrees, that is the rough outskirts of our plan to smuggle our army of 150 men into Rel, to murder a dragon, to somehow transport that loot back across the border of Rel, back through Alethor, also avoiding Alethor's armies, back here, to then fund hiring spies and wizards.
Can you say that again? I thought you Mission Impossible theme song.
No.
Let me just look at the map, because he's got the map in front of him.
We need a few carriages to transport this. Please.
Well, he went on robotics there.
Do armies.
He kind of, so he looks at the map, and he says, "Well, Comer's right on the border of Rel, so they might even not know we were coming."
That's true. It's still a border to cross, and that's also the start of the trail. We're gonna have to follow this trail until we find this dragon.
Well, they tend not to move their lairs, so we wouldn't have to smuggle all 150 just to scout the place out.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so does everyone at this table agree to this plan?
Yeah, they all raise their hands.
Do we have drinks?
I mean, did you supply drinks? Is that a kind of a...
Rum.
Yeah, at least some of them will have drinks.
All in favour, say aye and raise your glass.
They'll go, aye! But like more
There we
draconic.
go.
And Balax says, well, that settles it then. Slay a dragon, recruit the wizards, hire the spies, and take the fight to Valasar.
Ah, sounds good.
Hopefully we'll hear back from the wizards soon.
Excellent.
What about our contact with Lyle and Malbrin?
Can I... No. Slightly out of character discussion here. Zorgar up until this point has had no idea of Malbrin's after school activities. Could I have played it off to keep his identity to make it as if I was calling a contact instead of Malbrin?
I mean, if you're using the group sending stones, then everyone probably heard that.
I'm sure Malbrin would have something to say.
Malbrin, if you're watching, you have to chat.
We can't see the chat.
Jake can.
Malbrin has just put in a crying binding Mizek emoji.
I'm sure Narinn would have thought of a more subtle way to message him, but it escapes me.
Okay. Balax says, is there anything else we need to discuss, Commander? What is the time frame on this hunt?
Well, it'll take us quite a while to walk up there. Especially with quite a few men.
Can I ask, in like all of our time off, is this in like week 1?
This is like week 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, and we have 6 weeks off?
Yeah.
So, assuming it's week 4, do you think it would be possible to accomplish this in 2 weeks? I think so. I'm talking to Balax.
Balax is like, I would need more information to really make an evaluation, Commander.
What information do you require?
Well,
You need to know the location.
being as we don't currently know where this dragon lairs, we'll need to first find the dragon. We'll need to then, ideally, scope out its lair. And then we're going to need to have to slay it.
Yeah.
And
Before it slays us. And then...
You need our fastest walker.
I'm dying for a piss. Zorgar, discuss.
Jake, do we have men that have horses?
Do you have men that have horses? No, but you could get horses. Like, that's not too difficult.
I propose that me and Narinn, and maybe the Elite Four, get some horses, ride up and find the lair, and then me and Narinn can send Ding back, and then Balax can bring the rest of the men up.
Okay.
I think that, Balax and everyone else on the council can lead the men up here, and we can then slay the dragon. That seems like the best way for me to deal with it anyway.
Sure, I mean, Balax thinks that's probably a good idea. Narinn might have different ideas when he gets back, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll wait till he gets back to definitely decide that, but I think we'll scout ahead, find a little bit of proper location. Talk about horses. I'm saying we get me, you, and the Elite Four. We all get horses. We ride up and we find the lair, and then Balax brings up the rest of the army.
How long of a travel is it to Kilmore from the Fortress Temple?
How
On
long?
horse? Just on foot, because it's the same speed.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought horses sped things up.
Not really, they just mean you can bring more stuff.
Yeah, may as well walk it. Wouldn't be fast to just sail, would it?
There's no river that leads to Kilmore. Kilmore is inland as fuck.
It's like a 24-day walk.
Fuck. Is there a way to sail that far inland?
So there is a river that runs from the mountains in Rel down past Kilmer and down on the other side of Meriden from the big river, if that makes sense. So the big river that goes out to sea is on the right hand side, but then it starts further over to the left, like it runs all the way through Meriden. So you'd have to sail your ship through Meriden, like up past the harbour and through the whole city, and then try and get up that river.
And how long would that take?
Either way, we can't get everyone on the ship.
We can get at least 100 men on the ship. That's how we used to transform my men. Now we have an extra 50 then, which should probably be left to defend the fortress anyway.
Jake.
Yeah.
This 6-week break is because Hrafn's in the ground, right?
Yes. So you don't technically know when he's coming out of the ground.
No. So that whole 2 weeks thing was a little bit bullshit, but was the shortest span we could get this done in.
So just kind of ballparking it on the map, it looks like it would be about a week's sailing round, assuming there's no complications.
And we don't really know when we're ending, so it'll be a week to get there.
Yeah.
However many days to do the thing. And then it'll take us a week to sail back. We don't know when Haraffin's getting out of the ground. But fuck it, some of our party's in Meriden anyway. And it's only a few days from Meriden, right?
Yeah, it's like maybe 2 days.
Okay, 2 days is doable.
It's difficult to tell on that map where like says like how like actually like if you look at the map, it's like it's difficult to tell how much of that river is going to be traversable. Like, there's a chance you might have to stop further down and walk from a little further away, but it'll be faster either way.
Farrell, do you have any experience with this river?
Uh,
I suppose actually almost all of Farrell's experience will also coincide with Naren's,
yeah, pretty much.
just up until the past year.
I don't think so. He's like, I've never tried to sail up that way because it's a pain trying to sail all the way through Meriden without getting searched.
How so?
Well, because they have the custom checks, like they've got all the checkpoints and everything, and it's slow going trying to sail through that city as well because there's all the river barges and stuff.
So not only would we have to smuggle 100 men through the city, we would then on the way back have to smuggle 100 men and a fuck ton of gold through.
This is a pain in
That's
the ass.
doable, right?
He says,
Done challenges bigger.
yeah, I'm pretty confident in our abilities. I think we can. You know, what kind of smuggler would we be if we just turned down an opportunity like that?
We've smuggled into Narinn before. And how many people have found our under-deck room? Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that aloud.
Nothing. What?
The crew in Zorgar, the army in Zorgar aren't supposed to know about that, but oh well. Top class smuggler.
He's like, well, probably a lot more now.
No, it's just a tool to. Ah, fuck it. They're gonna find out anyway when we're smuggling all the money down. Well, that sounds fairly doable. If we sail up, track down the dragon, kill the dragon, take his money, and sail back. Simple.
Rob him.
Or maybe there's a chance we don't even need to kill the dragon, we just need him to be out of his lair long enough for us to loot it.
Oh, you mean like a distraction?
We could have a distraction, yeah.
I like
Lure
that.
him away from his lair, but have an escape plan. It's pretty hard to outrun a dragon though.
Yes, they do have wings.
So,
Balax gonna taps on the map and he says, "How long ago was this Comer incident?"
Was that a few months?
I don't know. It probably was a few months. Yeah.
Around a few months ago.
He says, "How confident are you the trail's still going to be there? Because obviously dragons don't really leave footprints."
Really robot.
You're really robot as well. Is it? Oh. Oh. Big robot.
Hey, I
There
think
we
we're
go.
back.
I
Okay.
think it was bad lag.
Yeah. I think my computer's trying to do quite a lot of stuff right now. I think it just freaked out. Let me check the calendar.
So, I thought you said dragons didn't move that layer. So, what would be the risk of them being gone?
Well, do you think they shared a lair with the black one?
No, but they somehow knew of the Black One's death.
Right.
And we left that one at the bottom of quite the ravine.
Yeah, so it was like the last 2 days of the last year where you guys killed the first dragon, and it's now like 2.5 months into this one. So it's been about 2.5 months. Yeah, something like
Or 2.5 months,
that.
yeah. Can I ask, just quickly, out of character to DM, am I remembering this right? The green dragon knew that we had killed the black dragon? Was upset.
All that you really saw was like Kilmer was all dead, and it looked like people had been gassed. That was really all you guys saw, I think. And then Gek had some chat actually.
Yeah. Because the green dragon tried to entice him and his boys, actually.
Yeah.
It's Gek! Geckers are in. Geckers are in. Yes, Geck. Geck can find his old tribe because his old tribe is with them. We use Geck as an in. Bam. This is working out finely. We have an in. Remember Geck's tribe decided to serve the Green Dragon?
Yeah.
Geckers are in.
Where is Gek?
He's on the ship.
Yeah, he's not invited to Council meeting apparently.
Why not?
Why not? He's a child.
I think
He
we
has
should call him up.
a tooth that's painted gold and he walks around saying savvy.
I love him.
So, what do you think, Farrell? You spent a fair amount of time with Geck at this point.
He says he doesn't really talk about before this tribe, is how he always says. I don't
his
think-
old tribe hurt his feelings quite
Yeah.
a bit.
He's not. I've never really asked. What do you know about it?
We spoke with their chief. You know, Geck and most kobold. You know, a little bit of money, got our way through. But they like to serve the dragon. So we kind of lied about how we were going to kill the black dragon.
Mhm.
And then we killed it.
Mhm.
And then a green dragon came along, and his tribe agreed to serve the green dragon.
Mhm.
And then Geck got left behind.
And then we took him with us.
So how are we gonna find them?
I don't want to invite Geck to the council meeting.
Get Gek up here.
I know Geck doesn't know how to track them, because if he did, he would have just gone back to his old tribe. But he's got to have a better idea of how to hunt down this tribe than we are. Because he lived like them.
That's true. I suppose if Balax says dragons don't leave footprints, but a tribe of kobolds might. Although a few months it'll be difficult. We'd need someone who's better at tracking.
I'm fairly versed in tracking myself.
I'm not bad. He says, I mean, if you think you're up to the task, Commander.
Farrell, have we got any good trackers on board the ship?
He says, you mean like a ranger or something?
Sure, yeah.
No, not really.
Okay.
Morzier might be okay, but he just, he speaks in half rhymes all the time.
Sounds like a cool guy.
Hmm?
Sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Likes his rhymes.
Okay, maybe add a ranger to the list of people we have to hire. But
Treasurer stole the top
now.
of the list.
we don't have to hire a treasurer. We just need to assign someone who's trustworthy and.
Well, who do you think will be there?
No one on the crew is very good with money, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say someone within the ranks
Get her mum to do it.
if she wants. Other Markex, do you want to be the treasurer?
She says if you need me to.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
neither
you're
of us
pretty
are very good with
trustworthy.
money. None of the crew is very good with money.
You've experienced lots of money before.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, that'll give me something to do.
Okay, there we go. Treasurer sorted.
Take that off the list.
Balax, if you require any funds, she is who you should see.
He bows. And she's like,
Okay, fucking Christ. I sent one of the Elite Four to go fetch Geck.
so did you leave Gek on the ship?
I realised about halfway through this meeting, I feel like I left all of my crew on the ship, which means Farrell.
Well, Farrell might
Been
come
on
with
the
you
meeting
anyways.
This whole time. Okay, so I guess Geck is left on the ship, so...
Because he's like 2 days walk away.
Yeah, I guess we'll leave that to when we're actually going up there, and we'll sort that on the way.
Mhm.
Because we'll have a week to plan. That's enough. But the things we should start planning now is how we deal with this dragon without losing people.
Well, what happened with the last dragon?
You know, we lost someone and almost lost me and a couple others. But basically, they're very, very big creatures who can fly, so preferably we want to keep them indoors.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to battle them in their lair, because within their lair they are more powerful.
Okay, so we need to fight them in a lair, but not their lair.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a point. We could lure them back to the Black Dragon's lair if we could leave some form of dragon version of breadcrumb trails.
Gold.
Oh, that could lead the little Gecks. I don't know, they're called kobolds.
Little Gek. Gek is a little Gek. Big Geks.
And then we could get them to summon their master and have a trap waiting. But then his dragons are smart, he wouldn't fall for that. Do we have any access to harpoons or anything to make this a bit smoother?
We could get access. Farrell says.
I know there is a cannon on the ship.
Is it a harpoon?
We will probably have to dismount that from the ship and bring it to wherever we set up this ambush.
Mhm.
And the biggest issue is going to be its breath ability.
What are green dragons?
Poison?
Balax is like, yeah, it's a sort of noxious belch.
Big green cloud.
This
Type deal.
dragon did lay waste to a village.
We gassed them all.
Has anyone at this table, other than ourselves, had any dealings with dragons?
They'll kind of look at each other, and they're like, they kind of shake their heads. Your mom doesn't really like engage with the looking at each other or the shaking of the hand. She's just kind of sitting there. She's been reasonably passive the whole meeting.
So our two options are to either fight the dragon and kill it, or to lure the dragon away with a distraction while we empty its lair of its loot. However, that has to be a hell of a distraction in order to be able to loot the entire lair and get out.
What kind of distraction would be?
I hate to put this forward.
You mean like bait?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bait is right here.
He kind of looks around. Oh. You want to... Do I understand you correctly, Commander? You want to lure a dragon? You want to try and outrun a dragon on foot and survive?
We have to outrun it. If we could... Well, what other options of bait do we have to lure the dragon away for long enough to be able to empty its chambers of loot?
What are they? I mean,
What are they into?
he says the green ones are always treacherous. They're tricksters and liars and bastards, he says. He says, I'd suggest more gold, but we don't really have that to spare at the moment.
It's kind of the whole goal.
Gold.
So we're trying to out-trick a trickster or murder a trickster.
Which do you think is easiest?
Murder.
I don't think either is easier. Murdering a dragon, I'm scared of the losses we would have.
How did you kill it the last time?
our party, the 7 of us. We battled, almost died, started running away, lured her to a massive chasm where we activated some sentinels who basically did nothing, but we just got lucky, managed to deal the final blow, and it fell down the chasm, got eaten up by some nasty things that were down there.
So you managed to draw it away then?
Yeah. By having it chase us.
He says it's an option. Whether or not it's the best option is for you to decide, Commander. Being as it's, he kind of gestures to both of you. He says, being as it's your lives on the line. If it goes wrong, then we don't have enough time. Then it would be
Worst case scenario.
it'd be a massacre. It would be
What's
like
that?
fish in a barrel. He says.
You can't fight it in its lair. Is there any way to trap it? If we could lure it to the old black dragon's lair. It's a big empty room with a hole in the ceiling.
Mhm.
And then a tunnel leading off down to some mushroom people, and another tunnel leading up to.
They're all like looking at each other, like what?
Doesn't matter. If we could lure it into that layer, which I feel confident we could do. He's a green dragon, he's very tricksy. Assuming we could lure it in there. Would there be any way to just hold it for long enough? Like if we had harpoons and ropes.
You just mean just restrain it while we rob it?
Yeah.
It might be possible, yeah. But then, if it's on the ground, it's still dangerous.
Yeah.
He says,
More handable.
perhaps we should wait until we've got more information on it.
So you want to scout it out first, or?
It might be sensible. It's of course your judgment, but
Yeah, I think that might be wise.
Maybe
Preparation.
it should be.
as always,
The more information we have, the better we'll be able to deal with it.
I don't know how much time we have though. So what I would advise is perhaps sailing up there, scouting out, and the rest of the people may hold position on the boat. Send a scout team ahead into the area to find them.
Mhm.
Do our reconnaissance, but then once we have all the intel, we don't have far to travel to strike.
Yeah. That seems like a good plan.
very well, Commander. Of course, it's your judgment. If you believe that's the good plan, I stand by.
I mean, we're also going through Meriden, so maybe one of the people in Meriden will wish to hop on board for the adventure. Who knows?
One of your companion?
Perhaps. I only know of 2 that are in the city right now.
Yeah.
So, there we have it. That is a rough plan of how we earn money to then hire the wizards and spies and
We might be
ranger that we need for this mission.
If we're passing through Meriden, we might be able to find out, hear back from the wizards.
Perhaps, yeah. But maybe not best to take them on the ship up to there.
No, don't take them with us, but we might be able to hear back from them, talk to them, get in touch.
So it sounds like a good plan to me, Commander.
This
Or
is,
we could talk to Lida and find out from her. If not, talk to them directly.
We'll speak to Lida. Lida's our best course of action.
He says,
Besides that,
and are you confident that between the two of you and the men will be able to take this thing on?
I'm confident.
no. To be honest, I'm
They'll
not.
they're like,
However, our other options are sell out part of our country in order to reclaim our country, which is kind of undoing itself.
Hmm.
Or work with what we have currently with no money in order, and we just send some normal men down to scale who are not spies, who will probably get found out fairly easily.
He says, yes, I'm in agreement, Commander. I meant only whether one or two of your companions might be worth their, in this case, weight in gold.
Yeah, I'll speak to a couple of the ones who I know are nearby. Keep that back to white, that's way brighter. Dicking around with a controller
Doesn't
there.
change it really.
It does.
He says, very well then. Is there anything else we need to discuss, do you feel? It seems like a reasonable plan to me.
We've addressed all of the problems we face. We have come up with a solution that all of our solutions are riding on. So I will contact some of my party who I know is in the area tomorrow to invite them along on this expedition. And then hopefully we can take a big enough cut to not only fund the spies and the wizards and all of our future employees, but to also strengthen defensive and potentially offensive.
Very well, Commander. He says, Council adjourned then?
Council adjourned.
Everyone stands up and...
Once.
What?
Are we setting sail at once or are we waiting?
What time is it? It's evening, right?
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go tomorrow.
Ling ling. I guess I'll call later in the morning.
Okay. So I don't know when we will continue this, where there's a sort of continuation.
I'm so sorry.
That's alright. So the next
Wait
kind
for
of...
longer.
The next one or two sessions might be a sort of limbo thing that sort of assumes you guys survived, but you might not.
Yeah, we're gonna die.
But we'll see what happens.
Could we do the whole... maybe that's not the best idea, actually. I was gonna say invite some of the party members we were going to invite in this session, but I'm not sure that's the best idea.
How do you mean?
These like have little
Just pop back in and be like, we're going to kill a dragon, wanna come?
Oh yeah, you can do that if you want, yeah.
But I feel like we're going to be met with a certain amount of backlash.
Alright.
But-
I mean, it's up to you guys if it's like... Oh, it was a chair. Alright, I was like...
Yeah, it was. If nothing happens till the next morning, I guess I'll give Lida a ring.
Cool, okay. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Calling Lida, please hold.
You're number 3 in the queue. This may take a while.
Possibly.
Oh.
Oh.
Even
Yeah.
talking.
She's
back.
Ring ring.
This is the next morning after our council meeting.
Hello.
Would you like a pair of headphones, Emma, and we can share this pair?
Sure.
I'm keeping my ones this time.
So you have to do this whole thing. Right. Hello. Bling bling. Hello, Lida.
Help. Hello. Why?
They're flipped inside out. Just flip them like the top end towards the bottom. No. Yeah, I really did it there, but like that.
That's what you said to do.
Yeah, so we continued our council meeting last night.
Okay.
We discovered we are in need of a large sum of money in order to hire wizards and also spies and rangers and stuff. We discussed our financial options, since I'm sure you are aware we are quite broke.
Yeah.
So we came down to the conclusion it was either find a benefactor in Meriden who's just some rich of the 1%, which we don't like.
So we decided
have
to
one
fight
of-
a dragon.
Why have you cut to the chase, you bitch? Yeah, we're going to have to fight that green dragon that we heard about in Kilmore
Like right now?
in the coming 2 weeks, or coming weeks,
And
yes.
this is like happening in downtown, right?
Yeah.
So what if we cut back to now and it's just like
We're
We're
dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just kind of gonna be in limbo for a bit, I guess. Like they might be here, they might not be.
Yeah.
Are you gathering everyone to do this?
We're gathering people we know are in the area. We,
So
you potentially Muir.
Mm.
I have no idea where the hell Malbrin has disappeared off to. Rurak is still retired from the party and dadding, so don't want to disturb him. Hey Rurak, want to come on this life-threatening mission? You're probably going to die. Yeah. Harafin is in the grounds, and that leaves the two of us. You if you wish to join, Muir if Muir wishes to join, and Malbrin probably won't want to join. But
Yeah, it's not really in a hurry to
Who else other than the party is involved with this?
the army. The army.
How many points does like the usual or like how tough does the army look like?
You know, they're not quite at our level. However, there's roughly 150 of them.
Okay. But that's if they're standing all in an area
No, no.
and a dragon's breath is in an area.
We're coming up with a plan. We're
hoping to
discussing
lure the
either
dragon.
the options currently are attempt to kill it, but in that sense we have to lure it away from its lair because otherwise we stand no chance, or lure it away from its lair while a large chunk of the army just loot the lair while people are distracting the dragon. None of this
You
is
don't think
fleshed
the
out
dragon
yet.
will be angry after that and seek out whoever took its shit?
Probably, but that's a future as issue. And right now our issue is
We
money.
have so many future us issues.
Right now our issue is money. There are also other complications of, having to smuggle 100 men past the Rel and Alathor border and then having to smuggle 100 men and all of the gold past the Rel and Alathor border. But that's the easiest part of this whole mission.
Okay. Is this really urgent? You guys have to do this now?
Yes.
Why?
Because we need money.
Oh, yeah, but is that urgent though?
Kind of, because without money we can make zero progress, and Balasar is currently making progress.
Because he has money.
Yes, a lot of
He's
money.
a king.
Yeah. And also, it's also for the security of my men, because I'm concerned about the Red Order returning. So basically, the sooner we can get spies and wizards and basically just become more secure and more sustainable, the safer the men become. Like, I don't want the sacking of Calborn keep repeating itself.
The problem is that most of our enemies already know where we are anyway.
Yes.
So
So quite the timer to whenever we piss them off enough that they come for us, or whenever Alathor is just like, fuck these guys, you can go and storm them.
but how much of the defenses would be actually like useful? If you're talking about like warding the place so people can't spy on you guys or
Appear.
up here.
I'm gonna be honest, the main issue right now is the hiring of spies. We spoke to a contact, and that contact is charging quite a hefty fee, because she's a bitch. No.
Maybe.
Litter and Zorgar have no idea of Malbrin's out-of-school activities, so let's just say it is a smuggling contact.
I think Zorgar would know. No.
On the phone, I am explicitly saying this is a smuggling contact I made in the past.
You forget I've broken into houses with Malbrin.
But do you know about her organisation?
Not really, but I've seen her mask.
The point is, we're hiring spies. They're charging a hefty price of 1,500 gold per month per person. Yep.
Niall
Quite a lot of
says that it knows more than most people probably.
Ah, there you go. So Malbran is charging us a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, currently £1,500.
Shrewd businesswoman.
Well, I think we may have knocked it down to like 1,000 per person per month, with other services tacked on as well there. However, our current financial status is about 500 gold, and that's for the crew.
Wait, so okay.
So our current financial status is 0, really.
So that's just for spy intel, right?
That's just for the spies. So we're also needing to think about
Paying
wizards and rangers and just overall.
and the treasury.
I'm not sure if we can sit here forever, so we maybe need to think about how we transport.
I don't know if we're financially equipped to raise an army at the moment.
That's how we're trying to become financially equipped.
I know, but how much gold did we get from the last dragon?
What?
How much gold did we get from the last dragon?
None of it, because it all went to Ren.
Yeah, but how much was there?
How much did we count out? Do you remember, Mr. DM, sir?
Let me check. I have to go
Without
back through
making
some
any
vintage
notes.
notes here.
Because at least if you knew that, you'd have an idea of how much gold this.
Fairly
other dragon-
sure it was like at least double-digit thousands, which is enough.
Yeah.
Let me check for you.
Thinking 4 months.
I also have to make sure no one else has already killed the dragon.
Yeah, that's true. We also need to track the dragon down. There's a lot of like little things that need to be fleshed out.
This is a fairly big quest.
Yeah, we're kind of desperate.
There was a total value of 32,000 gold. And some pocket change.
That's a pocket change. Didn't we take the pocket? Did we steal the pocket change? No.
No, I think you guys just handed all the money over.
I feel fairly stupid now.
Yeah, I feel like we would have done this like a 1,000 gold or something.
I feel we could have got away with like 12 grand of that instead
Well,
of
I think
20.
it was because we were on trial and they could have like zone tricked us and been like, did you take any of the
Yeah.
treasure?
But yeah, 32 grand. That's for that dragon. We don't know how much this dragon has hoarded. But since he's lived a bit longer, I'm hoping more. Could be slightly less, but even if it is, it's probably still enough.
I'm concerned about doing this without Rurik.
Rurak is on dedication. Oh, actually, did he just retire from the party forever as far as we know at this point?
Yeah.
No, he said he would be back. He just didn't know when.
Okay, well, he's on dedication. We don't want to rip him away from his son even more.
Yeah, but for example, if Muir tags along, we're gonna need some healing. Like, we're just gonna need some healing. Otherwise, she'll die.
I have 55. Most of you.
I know, but you're also a hard turn.
That's true.
It's like,
Most of my turns are used for attack.
so yeah, I'm concerned of going without like a dedicated healer like a cleric, especially after the fight last time where it was.
Yeah, the last fight went very badly.
Also, Rurik does hit quite hard, so it's
Yeah,
always
he
good
does.
to have.
You deal with burst damage.
I mean, we can rip him away from his dedication if you want, but it's the issue of transporting him to Kilmore. And
We could send him and see if he's
issue
up for
of
it.
his family relationship.
We could just ask him. He might
Because
be reluctant, but
Yeah, but he will probably say yes is the thing, but I don't want to be the one to rip him away from his son again.
do you want to be the one that killed all our men?
Balax.
Yes, Commander.
During your sleeping, and how long have you been up now?
Well, I was up at dawn, so 2 hours.
2 hours. Have you had any more thought for this dragon issue?
Well, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
In what sort of capacity, sir?
We're trying to rope Lydia into it currently.
Mm.
You know Lydia, right?
Yeah, the wizard.
Our good
Yeah,
party
nice.
friend. Yes. However, she is concerned over the welfare of beings.
Beans?
People.
Concerned
No,
about the
beans.
beans.
obviously the most important thing about doing this, I'd actually rather get found out by Rel about doing this rather than having a bunch of people die. We need to do this in the least life-spending way possible, but obviously this requires scouting. So yeah, the current plan was to sail up there. People stay on the boat while a scout team goes ahead and scouts out the area. Yeah, my hand's going mental, I'm sorry.
The thing is that if you rope in new people, you're gonna have to pay them,
Yes,
and you're gonna have to pay them a lot as well, and they'll probably want a cut of the.
I will guarantee them a percentage, not a number.
Alright. But also, if we do just take Rurak, then you don't have to give a cut to anyone.
That's true.
What do you mean?
Rurak.
What do you mean if we just shut up? What do you mean if we just take Rurak?
Like when we're talking about like getting a healer for the quest.
That was
It feels like you guys are just sharing a sending stone or something, and you're like, is this how this works?
Give it here. I can't hear. Give it here. I want a shot.
For some reason it seems quieter when you hold the headphone upside down, but that's probably just me.
No, it does.
Yeah, so we're going to be sailing up in the next few days. If you wish to hop aboard, you're welcome. We can spend, it'll be like, how long does it take to get to Meriden? A few days? 5 days?
5 or 6, yeah.
We can discuss each day if you want about the logistics to maybe flesh something out a little more, and then if we really require Rurak's presence, we can call him from Meriden. I don't know how he would get there though.
That's why we should call him now, because then he might be able to get to Meriden by the time we're there.
Does he have any? Do you have any teleportation? You have the teleportation circle in Kilmore, do you not? No, it's the one the thing he lives in, the druid.
What? I have teleportation circle to the dwarf place. I have it to capital. I have it to.
Dwarf place in capital, great.
I think it was like the place where the dragon was staying.
Yeah, there was somewhere in the region of Kilmore, right?
Like there was one in the building with all the armed people. They had a teleportation circle, maybe.
Yeah, where Gek used to live.
Yeah, I think so.
We should send him Rurak.
So theoretically, you could teleport to Mount Tor, see Rurak, and then teleport to Kilmore.
Yeah, I could do that. I could teleport him back as well.
Yeah. The biggest issue I'm having here is the more people we rope in, the smaller the cut goes to what the whole point in this mission is. So, Muir, yourself, and Rurak.
Also, the less amount of people that you rope in, the more likely you are to die.
That's true.
Theoretically.
No, like
No,
100%.
that's she's right.
And also the worst one to rope in, but possibly probably still listening in. Hi, Melbourne. Going to want the biggest cut, which will inspire everyone else to want bigger cuts. The lowest amount I want to take home here is about 50% of the money. Like, Zorgar and I are getting nothing out of this. This is purely going to the army.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I'm not that fussed about getting a large cut of the money. Like, I don't.
I don't think Rurak will be that fast either.
No.
Maybe take a small payment.
I don't know.
I would like to lay claim to any cool magical items.
That's cool.
Sure.
Because we find what? We find the fucking
The cards of
decimate
death.
things. We find, I think we find a lot of things there. So there's bound to be some magical items that I
Yeah,
think will
Dragon's Forge
satiate
should.
people.
Yeah. Well, let's ask Rurak then.
Do you want me to go? Alright, I'll get Rurik.
If anything then.
Yeah, I'll share.
We can share.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get him. Hopefully it's not Isaac.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sure we are massively derailing this from its original plan.
That's okay.
Oh, Jesus!
Is he there? What? What did
He
you
was at
do?
the door.
You need me.
Rurak, get here.
Have you been watching the stream?
Oh, this just me.
You have been watching. You have
No,
to share,
you
you
have
bitch.
to share.
You have to share.
Go sit on the peanut M&Ms.
Look at my organs.
Hang on.
Yeah, I like that. But they don't flip all the way around, so you have to. Oh, they do. My headphones are better than yours, Finn.
I do that too. They're the
but-
same
No,
headphones.
they don't. Though. Look. Oh, we've been
Okay,
doing it
okay.
stupid. Like,
Yeah.
there we go.
That's right.
Yeah. Bling bling.
What time is it, Jake?
Rurak.
Jake,
Uh,
what time is it?
It's in the morning.
I mean, time works differently in Bronzehold because it's kind of just
There's
the.
time zones.
Well, it's more because there's no
It's just
fucking
the time
sunlight,
in the dark.
so
Yeah.
it's like
What am I doing right now?
roll a d20.
Where's the D20?
This has got way more complex than intended.
We want to fight a dragon.
I'm not in the world yet.
I haven't spawned in.
D20.
16.
16. Okay, so you're sitting down at the breakfast table with Morden. You're like, chatting about what you're gonna get up to today. How's he been getting on with his his Golem book and all that? And he's filling you in. And he's like, yeah, they've got this math sum here, and then the stone goes.
Oh Jesus. Okay, hang on. Right, son, you stay here. You keep reading.
Get
I'll be back. I'll be back in a few.
Okay, Dad.
I'll head to like the back or whatever, somewhere
Slip out the
private.
back.
I'm on holiday.
So, how's your vacation going?
Yeah, it was going great until you called.
What?
No,
Fine,
okay.
we were just
Yes,
calling
I'm
to check
okay.
in,
No,
you
I'm
dick.
So aggressive. Jesus.
It's like you don't even like us.
I'll love you guys. What's going on?
So we're going to fight a dragon.
You want to fight? What? Wait, hang on. I know it's the morning, but are you've been loony? What's going on? You're fighting a dragon.
So let me go over the whole situation real quick, because this is like the 4th time we're going over it.
Okay.
We have no money. We need to hire spies. We need to hire wizards, possibly rangers as well, and also a bunch of other shit. It's expensive to run an army, but we have 0 money.
I thought you were princes.
No money.
With 0 entitlement. That's the whole point in this
That's
war.
the-
We want
yeah.
money. No.
I thought you were a pirate.
Well,
Look, we're trying to do this legit, okay?
we're trying to do
That's
this.
why we're killing a dragon.
Also, I'm trying to do this quick, so no more interrupting. Okay?
Killing a dragon's pretty tough. How are you going to do that?
Hang on,
legit,
let me
isn't it?
finish the story. For the spies alone, we're getting charged a hefty amount from a contact. They are charging a minimum of £1,000.
Who's your contact?
Shut up! Stop interrupting. I have to keep asking.
Hey, you're on my time right now.
They are charging a minimum of 1,000 gold per month per person. We need roughly minimum 3 of them, and for roughly 4 months. So that's quite a bit of dosh right there. That's 12 grand for just that. 12 grand? Sorry, yeah, 12 grand.
That is 3 times 4.
Yes, 12 grand.
Yeah.
And that's for the spies alone. We have many other expenses to cover, so we ran across our options, which was hire a wealthy benefactor from Meriden, which we don't like. Have one of the barony supporters, which undoes the whole point in this cause because we lose part of the land we're trying to get back. Or go fight a dragon, steal all its loot, and yeah.
Profit.
Well, that's a good plan.
Yeah, it's the
Good
most
luck.
risky. However, does Rurak hang up?
I'm still here.
Yeah, we were just seeing if you wanted to tag along. You get a percentage of the cut, quite small, I will say, because the whole point in this is that the army has money. But a percentage nonetheless. And
So you want me to take time off of my holiday that I took specifically because I've been stressed the fuck out by you lot,
right?
and you want me to come along and make sure you all don't die, and your mates as well, I bet, all your army mates
This wasn't my
from this
idea.
dragon, and you're asking me to take a little cut.
I didn't want to call you. I knew you were on vacation. Lida said we
And
needed
yeah,
your
you
help.
did.
And then Zorgar was a pushy bitch and he started the school.
We need you.
Oh.
You don't have to come. You can stay on your vacation if you want.
Right, like.
We know you're a powerful healer.
Sweet talking.
You know that, like, I set this time aside for my family. Right. I can't.
We don't know how much longer Harathrin has got to be in the ground.
Yeah,
She
you know
might have
anybody
time.
else? Come on,
No,
we've been
no,
about.
I'm asking you.
Asking me, I only know.
You're the one. You're the cleric.
I know Uriel, but I don't think he's battle ready.
That's why we need you, because you're strong in battle and in healing.
He's right. Right, well,
How far into the holiday are we right now?
what?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks. You've been away.
Oh,
near
well,
the
no,
end.
it's 4 weeks since.
What
we
time
don't
is
know
it for
anything.
you lot right now?
Morning.
Morning.
Just after dawn.
No, I
And
can't.
when you planning on doing this?
But ASAP.
You can have me for one night.
We can pick you up in Meriden.
You can have me for, like, when it's... you can have me for one night.
Okay, we'll pick
One
you up
night.
in Meriden.
Yeah.
One night with Rurek.
Wow.
Can we extend it to 2?
No.
3?
No.
4.
1.
That's
5.
not how
Final offer.
negotiating works.
I feel...
I'll be there for the actual dungeon.
I'm,
But I'm not doing any other spy shite. I'm not doing any self shite. Once you're at the door,
wait.
call me.
This
Get me
isn't-
there.
This isn't how this works.
Yeah,
Well,
we can't
you know.
get you there without picking you up in Meriden.
Well, Lida can go stay with Rurak and for
Well,
for
I
a
can
week
get
if
to
she
Narinn.
wants. Well, we need you in Kilmore ASAP. Lida
Well,
can
no,
get
I
you
can
ASAP.
pick him up in my tour and then.
Yeah,
go
it's
to
just the
Kilmore.
issue is you would
Yeah,
need to.
yeah. I've been talking for the past 5 minutes.
Oh, it's you!
You know what? I didn't realize how much of these 4 weeks have been a holiday for me too. I haven't been taking this time to myself at all.
Well, you should.
Maybe we
It's
shouldn't be
good for
going
you,
to
you know?
fight a dragon.
Shut up, we're going.
Take a break.
Balax, get in here. We need you to...
Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander.
We're speaking to our healer
Uh-huh.
because Lida's very concerned about the welfare of not only her, I would like to point out our troops. Some
Oh.
people care.
I like her.
Balax
She's
is the
good.
best healer we know, unfortunately. So we need to persuade him to come or find someone who is equally as good, which could prove to be difficult. And we've already gone over our whole hiring crisis, which is the whole point in this expedition.
Yeah. What's the issue, Commander?
You're very good at wooing people over to your side. Where are you, Narinn?
I have
Mixed
an army.
up.
They sound pretty similar on the phone.
What are you saying?
It's a bad connection. I'm in the middle of a mountain.
This is a strong connection. You've got good signal in there.
I can't hear you.
Stop making duck noises.
That's not how the stones work.
I've robbed a stone.
Of course, you got a good reception in the mountains. Oh, made a stone.
Exactly. No bad connection. Anyway.
You're right.
I told you, you can have me for one night.
2 nights.
One night is what I mean. I'm on holiday. I need to do this one month.
You get a cut. If you do 1 night, you get a smaller cut. If you do 2 nights, I'll give you a bigger cut.
No, this is not how this works.
I mean, it is.
You're getting me off my holiday. I can say no.
Okay, so 1 night.
One night and I get my full cut.
No, you said 1 night. You didn't say anything about a cut. One
Yeah,
night.
and now on to the bit about the cut.
Fine, you get a cut 1 night. Deal.
What? Hang on. You can't just say I get a cut and that's the end of it.
You get
Okay,
you
hang
get
on.
a certain percentage
I want-
that will be determined at a later date.
I want.
Is there a way to cut Rurak off the call and continue the call without Rurak?
If you don't want me about, I can stay.
I want you about, but you're making this very difficult, Rurak.
How?
Niall says.
Now.
Niall says, when did Rurak turn into Malvern?
Right. All I want is I'll take diamonds, all low on diamonds, and that's all for you arseholes anyway.
You can have some diamonds. We find some diamonds.
If we find diamonds, just depending on how many diamonds there are, like if 100% of the loot is diamonds, you can't have all the diamonds, but, you know, to a reasonable extent.
I'll take like I don't know 12,000 pieces worth of diamonds. 12,000.
This is all-
1,200 pieces.
Once again, like I was saying to
So
Lydia,
what
I can
is
offer you
200?
a percentage.
1,200.
There you go.
I can offer you a percentage.
What percentage
dollar
can you
number
offer me?
of diamonds?
Yeah, sure, diamonds.
Anywhere from 1 to 100%, depending on how many
Narinn,
diamonds.
Look, man, we don't know what we're gonna
Oh,
find yet.
the worst person to try to negotiate with.
We'll
You
give
see
you
what
a-
happens here. You see what happens here. Like, I
Right.
come here when I'm supposed to be sleeping. I come along and heal you all so you don't die from this dragon. And then you give me 1 diamond, and that'll be it.
We'll
Right.
give-
I'm not down for that.
The only reason we
Right,
give you
right.
1 diamond
Yeah,
is if
yeah,
there was
right.
only 1
How,
diamond available.
how are you gonna feel if we go and fight this dragon and we end up dead?
I'm telling you, it was a dumb idea.
Well,
Oh,
it's
that
satisfying you.
removes all your crisis, doesn't it? I told them it was dumb. That's just their own fault. Fuck them.
I'm on holiday.
Balax is just there, like standing kind of near you guys, like, Commander, what's going on?
All of a sudden, our healer does not care about people's
Fine,
lives and
okay,
cares about
fine.
Oh,
diamonds.
why don't we just do it? Like, do we have to do it now? We can't wait until Kraken's out of the ground.
Because this is what I was trying to avoid. Originally, I wasn't trying to make it a whole party thing, because one, you've had to do enough for us. We've forced you to do enough, or me saying I have. And also, it will get added to a list, which will then get debated. And the financial issue is pretty serious right now, seeing as we have no
Right,
money
fine,
for the
okay.
troops we currently have.
It
never mind.
sounds like you're needing the cash.
Pretty dealy.
How about you just both owe me? You just both owe me 1. I can call it in whenever.
Okay, deal.
Sure.
Yeah?
Deal. If you ever need us for a mad side quest,
We'll come.
Just anything.
yeah. We'll
Anything.
come.
I'm not agreeing to anything. I'm
I
agreeing
agree.
to a mad side quest or an action.
Yeah,
An
anything.
action.
Yes, like
What does
murder.
I'm not asking you, like, I don't need cash or anything. It's just like, if I ask for something one day and I call in a favor, then you have to honor it.
I agree. That's it.
How bad could it be? It's rude.
Because I have something very specific in mind that I think he's going to ask for, and I don't want to agree to it.
What's that?
Nothing. I'll offer you a percentage.
Just say what you want to agree to.
So, Ed, you gotta say what is that?
If it is
No,
related
no, no,
to...
no, 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 no. What was that? What
Right,
was it you
okay,
don't want to
I
say?
will agree to anything you ask me to do in the fact that I owe you 1, unless it has to do with the welfare of my troops or my god. So I will not put my troops in harm's way or my god in harm's way.
What the fuck are you on
Is
about?
this acceptable terms?
What
You're
are
being
you?
very strange now.
You're being well weird.
Basically, you have access to me and not all my troops.
Alright, I'm not asking for your trips. I'm telling you that if I call in a favor, you have to honor it.
We're going in circles here, Mirek.
Yeah.
If it is to do with my god or my troops, I will not obey, but besides that, I will.
Well, I'm sorry, you don't have a cleric.
Why are you being an arsehole?
He does
Your brother's being an arsehole.
Come on,
He's
man.
trying to fucking tiptoe. I know his game.
You don't know my game. That's the issue. And I can't tell you the game. That's the other issue.
Why not? Wait, this party doesn't have secrets.
I was sent on a mission by my god, and I am scared Ruak will prevent that mission by calling in this favor like a prick.
What's your mission?
I can't tell you the mission. My god has sent me on a mission.
You know the mission
What
I'm
is your
on.
God saying
We're on
you're
a
not
mission
allowed to
from
tell
God.
us?
Huh?
I've got a mission. No, I don't. I don't have a mission.
Right,
Never
my
mind. I
god.
haven't had it yet.
You know those maps that have been popping up in our adventures?
Yeah.
My
The
god has
tracking
sent me
ones.
to reclaim one of them.
Alright. And what's that to do with me?
I'm just saying, I do not want you to call in a favor to prevent me from giving the map to my god.
Oh,
Is that acceptable?
How would okay, sure, but just explain to me how would my favor prevent you? Like, why would I even stop you?
Please
from...
stop delving into this. Just accept the terms.
No,
I'm asking
I need
for
to
that
know.
one specific term. Is the
You're
only clause.
you're being so fucky about this. I need to know.
Balax, please.
Yes,
look
Commander.
into healers. Look into healers. We're gonna need one.
Yes, sir.
I
can heal.
You're
Budget.
really gonna
I have
not
some-
Rurik just because of this one thing?
I mean, Ruak, you're my friend. Come on, I can't tell you this one thing. How much do you seriously care? I'm just asking.
I just don't understand.
You're
It
not-
just feels like a weird secret.
Like, I don't understand why I would get in the way of you in the maps. I've been held.
Just
I held that
agree.
fucking map from the Kraken.
Come on, Narinn, just agree.
Me?
Yes, you.
You realized I could have fucking died there and then?
This is becoming such a pain.
Yes, agree.
Right, I want to make things very clear that as far as I am aware, there is no bad tensions between Arissa and Altius. Yes?
I think
That's debatable, but you know.
Jake, is that debatable?
Is what debatable?
How they hate each other.
The bad tensions between Arissa and Altius.
What about them?
Do they exist?
They do exist.
And also,
They're pretty clear.
I
They're
give up.
divorcees.
Rurak will be in Meriden. You have like 6 days to decide. I can't do any more. Sorry. Yeah.
Wait, what? What's happening?
We're setting sail, and if Rurak wishes to join, he has 5 or 6 days to make up his mind. Beyond that, I cannot do any more than this.
If I join, you better honor that agreement.
I told you to the extent that I will honor it. Okay. Lovely, lovely talking to you.
I'll chat to you later, Lydia, about this whole
We'll go set
thing.
sail as
Alright.
soon as possible, I guess.
Today.
Oh, we have to walk to the ship, but yeah.
I guess I'll see if Mir's about and if she wants to come. I don't. We're also missing our druid.
He's in the ground.
Yeah, but he's also a very key tank in our party.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try our best to not have to fight this dragon. However, if it comes to that,
We also know nothing about this dragon.
other than it's green, which means it's a trickster. And
Where is it? Where is it?
It's great, so it's a trickster.
Where is the dragon?
we don't know. All we know is that it was seen in the vicinity of Kilmore, and we aim to track it from the Kilmore region.
So you guys are probably better off tracking first and then having Murat come join.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the whole thing of we're going to park the ship in the river nearby and send a scouting party, and then send
I
people.
can meet you guys at Kilmore. Because I can teleport there. I'm kind of scared of teleporting back to that place though, because it was Long Arms' place.
Yeah.
And I would have Long Arms men after me. So I'm a little bit.
This was not a complication I thought of. I mean,
Get the boat.
you can send a scouting party before you teleport.
Well, are you guys coming to Meriden?
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
We're going through Meriden, yeah.
okay, yeah, I'll just come aboard on Meriden.
Cool.
What else was I gonna say? Yeah, we don't know anything about this dragon other than it's green then.
Yes.
So it could be more powerful than the last one.
Yes. These are very high stakes. However, the need is also very high.
Jake, have we heard any other news of dragon attacks in lately?
No. There's been no reports.
No reports.
No reporte.
Any reports of any dragon slain from her?
Also no.
So you're gonna have some trouble.
A little bit. I am purely banking, not purely, semi-banking on one of my crew members. You may know as Gek. His tribe is now, or as far as we know, serving the dragon.
Savvy.
Gek is, he may not know where they are, where they've gone, but he knows how they live and how they think. So he can assist in the tracking at the very least.
We met like tribe leaders.
Yes. We
Where I
have
could
the
just
little
go.
thing.
Yeah, where I could just do a locate item.
Oh, that's a much smarter plan.
I mean, I had to be like pretty close though.
Yeah, well,
Like 1,000 feet. I could scry, but that costs money.
How much money?
Quite a lot of money. Like,
Very much.
pretty sure it's 1,000 gold.
We don't have that kind of finance.
If we had that kind of finance, we would already be in possession of a spy.
It's not a consumable 1,000 gold. I don't think. It's like you need like a.
Well,
Oh wait, hang on. No, I bought that orb, didn't I?
Yeah. I think you can just grab whenever you want now.
yeah.
Right. Well, give us a minute.
Whenever you got the juice for it.
Let's go pop a look.
I'll call you back in 5.
Scry on that the main leader.
Hey Jake, I'm gonna go and head to the church
Uh-huh.
in Tor
Mhm.
and give a little scry in front of an altar.
Okay, who are you scrying?
What was the name of that? Oh, before I hang up, anyone remember the name of that tribe leader?
His name was blank.
It was like it was a stupid name. It was a double barreler.
Boko.
Farrell, I know you didn't
Loco.
really speak to Gek much about his past, but do you happen to
Hmm?
know the leader of his old tribe?
Why don't you just ask Gek?
What?
Because he's
Hmm?
on the ship 2 days away.
Oh, I see.
Why aren't you sending him?
Because how would we?
Lida? Oh wait, he doesn't speak common, does he?
No.
Speaks Gek.
There needs to be a translator.
He speaks Dragonborn.
If you
Well,
can
you're not.
memorize the
Surely you
words.
can you message one of the crew members and ask one of them to ask him.
Do they speak Dragonborn? Is
Well,
there...
they are Dragonborn.
My whole crew is Dragonborn.
They are?
Almost all of them, yeah. Pim wasn't, but Pim's dead.
Sounds like per Pim.
Oh,
Waylon is human, isn't he?
I have it written down in my book. I just can't remember. Like, I don't have my book on me.
Petrix will be on the ship.
Okay, I'll send in Petrix and be like, can you ask Gek what his old tribe leader's name was, please?
What? Who is this?
As Leda, can you ask Gek what his old tribe leader's name was?
You hear some footsteps and some muffled sounds like that. He says Molo Savvy.
Oh, Mola Savia.
Molo, was that it?
Milo Savvy.
Mola
Wait,
Savvy.
he's saying Savvy at that.
Yeah!
Molo
Savvy's not part.
Molo Savvy.
Just Molo.
Damn it, Gek.
So,
You've just been pranked.
is it Molo Savvy?
It's
Just
just Molo.
What you said, Savvy.
Yeah, that's because Gek
If
says
you
Savvy
can
all
still
the time.
speak
If
to
Gek
Petrix,
said
tell him to
Savvy, isn't that the name of the
fucking-
leader?
It's Molo.
It's not like a title.
Fuck off, it's Molo.
I'm going to fire Petrix when I get back to
Right, Jake.
that damn word.
Yes.
In the temple,
Uh-huh.
I'll whap out the orb.
Okay, so you head to the temple and you pull your orbit.
Yep.
Let me check the spell rank.
I'm looking into the orb. Thinking about Molo.
I think
I've got
there's
a
a
red,
roll
I've got a
involved.
red Gek tribe insignia. It's in my beard. I'm holding on to that.
Okay. What is your spell save DC? Do you know? Shall I just check for you?
It must be 17. Like
17?
8 plus 5 plus
He wasn't
Yeah,
a
I
very
think it's
smart man.
plus 4.
He's a kobold. Yeah, he's pretty thick.
What's our proficiency bonus?
Just
Plus
when
4, then.
scrying him, offer him money.
Yeah, 17 then.
17.
You got wisdom of 20.
Okay. So he has to make a save. Roll the d20. He gets a 1. So. So yeah, you kind of you tweak out your orb, and you sit there with it, and you kind of you think about Molo, and there's like this little kind of storm cloud develops in the orb and kind of swirls around, and then it develops into this kind of picture of this albino kobold, who is chatting with other kobolds in like a cave system, in a language you don't understand.
Mhm.
And then they finish their conversation and he walks away. And the camera kind of follows him. And then he stops and he speaks to some other kobolds, and then they like fight over a stick, and he takes the stick.
I've got was it stone cunning or something?
Yeah.
Can I take a look at the architecture?
It's
Or
natural
any
stone.
Natural.
It's like a
stone?
natural cave.
Is there anything whatsoever that could give me some sort of glimpse as to their location?
Roll a d20. Roll a d20.
Roll
Natural
D20.
stone.
Where's the D20?
Make a whatever check. A history check, I think.
Please.
Just gotta leave them all out here.
17.
17. So it's all natural stonework, but it does look it looks all like damp and stuff. And you can see there's a couple of like mineral outcrops that look like it's like the sort of minerals that only grow. They're like kind of that kind of fuzzy crystal. That's like it needs to be kind of kept moist in order to grow. But that's about as much as you can tell from the stonework. And you watch him, he speaks to the first group of kobolds, and then he disappears off, and then he comes to another group, and he starts chatting to them, and then he argues with someone over a stick and takes a stick off them, and then he kind of keeps going, stops and picks up a mushroom and eats it, and then he kind of heads
What kind of
down.
mushroom was that?
It's a kind of glowy blue mushroom.
Is that a glowy blue mushroom I could possibly think of?
Glowing
Like,
blue mushroom.
is it that also is also sort of a moist area situation?
Hang on.
Kind of mushroom.
Make a nature check, I guess.
Make a nature check. 13.
13. It looks like a kind of, it's like the sort of kind of standard mushroom that's in Bronzehold all over the place.
Bronzehold.
Yeah.
Right. Where was Bronzehold? Wasn't that Alethor?
That's the city you're currently in.
Oh yeah.
Where's Bronzo?
But he,
around Bronzehold.
Let him continue the story. About
yeah, because a lot of like Bronzehold's illumination comes from glowing mushrooms.
Right. Okay.
Um,
And I've been underground around the Nethergloom and other caves around the world.
Yeah.
Around the country, the continent.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen those mushrooms about anywhere else.
I mean, you get similar glowing mushrooms in the Nethergloom, and you also there was some in the ruins where you fought the other dragon.
Okay.
Down in the bit where there was like the mushroom people.
They're just an underground thing.
They're just an underground
thing.
And he picks up a mushroom and he's gnawing on that, and then he kind of heads sort of down this sort of craggy path, this kind of craggy tunnel, and opens out into this larger chamber, and there is this huge pile of gold and gems and like various fine treasures like breastplates and shit, and there is this huge green dragon sleeping on it, and he kind
Can I take a guess to the size?
of about the same size as the other one,
Okay.
Okay, good.
and there is Molo calls something out in Draconic, and then the dragon kind of like rears its head, and then it speaks something in Draconic, and then they just have this exchange, and then the scrying orb goes blank.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I don't have the slightest clue about understanding Draconic, do I? I've been around a lot of Dragonborn for the past like few months.
Yeah, it's true.
But
You do.
I wouldn't even be able to pick up like a name.
Give me an intelligence check.
Oh. 10.
And you got a +0 intelligence, or just a straight 10?
Just 10.
Just a 10. Like you hear like the word that you think is for food, and you hear the word that you think is for like Gek says it quite a lot when someone hands him a coin. And you hear the word that doesn't sound like it's like another Draconic word, and it's the word like only Molo says it, and he says this word Morganth.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call up. I'll go back to the house, back to like a quiet place, and call up on the standing stones. All right, lads. I gave it a little look.
You found Mela?
Yeah, I found Molo. He's there with the green dragon. I wish I saw the green dragon. I saw its horde.
How big did the horde look?
Comparatively to the dragon, how big did the horde look? Or comparatively to the last horde.
The last
that I
horde,
saw.
slightly larger.
Slightly larger than the last time. And the dragon's about the same size. I might have heard the name Morganth. I don't know. I don't know your language, but that is maybe what I heard. So
Is
I
that
could do
just
some
a
research.
name? Does that seem like a name to us?
It definitely doesn't mean anything in Draconic.
Means nothing. Probably a name.
You could, maybe have someone look into that. I don't know.
I can do that.
You can do that?
But
Yeah.
this is very good news to find out Merlo is with the Green Dragon, because it is considerably easier to track a tribe of kobold than it is to track a dragon.
The caves that they're in, they're in a cave, by the way. It was really moist. Like, the crystals and stuff they had grown on the walls, and just everything was, like, really
Did
damp.
you get like a sense of temperature? Is that a thing that don't happen to scrying?
Did I? Jake?
You can never, like, there wasn't, like, any obvious steam or anything.
It's not quite like that. No, there wasn't. I didn't really see any.
Okay, no knife breaths.
The biggest clues I got were that it's really damp, and that there was like the same sort of glowing mushrooms we see around, like we have them here, but it was in the same caves last time. You know.
Most important question. Did you see like same as the Black Dragon had, a hole in the ceiling somewhere light was coming in, or
Jake?
the entrance?
It was definitely, the cavern was illuminated, but from the scrying sensor's position, you couldn't actually see the ceiling.
I didn't get a good look. It's kind of restricted. It was there was light coming from somewhere, but that could be that could be crystals, that could be mushrooms, that could be a hole in the ceiling, it could be a crack in the ceiling.
It was a sort of like a yellowy white light.
It was yellowy white light, so that that could be the sun, but there was no rock for me. There was all natural rock. There was no cave systems of like carved rock or anything.
That's fine. I think we could track the kobolds, because I may be misremembering, but was not one of Zorgar's jobs when he was in the army, not dealing with kobolds, as they're kind of pests, aren't they?
Oh, question. How did kobolds track dragons?
Don't you just have a feeling?
Because then we could just guess.
That is a good question, actually. Damn it, Gek, why aren't you here? I mean, I guess we'll head to the ship, and then we'll be en route to Meriden, but it'll be 5 or 6 days. So.
Yeah. Jake, I remember us talking to the tribe about the dragon and stuff. Did
Yeah.
they ever mention anything about like getting that sense that they're...
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we turned up here because we just felt like we should come here. And then there was a dragon there.
Okay. Well then, I guess Gek is probably your best bet to actually track the dragon.
Time to earn your pay, Gek.
Oh my god, he's like our little sniffer dog for dragons.
Yep.
Carefully doesn't stab you in the back, lads.
He won't. Gek is loyal, and also
Gek,
he's
right?
loyal because I promised him pay, and I will promise him a good chunk of money from this horde, which to him will be like, I don't know, 100 gold.
You don't let him see the
That'll
whole
blow his mind. No.
Don't
I
piss
won't
off
let him see
another
the
dragon after this, please.
I'm planning on killing it.
There's still planning to be done, but I will let Balax know of all of what we have learned.
And we shall set sail.
Well, we shall walk towards the ship to set sail.
Set sail!
Yeah.
Alright, count me in. I'll shift some stuff about.
I'm gonna do some research on
Supposed to take
Morgan
more than that.
and green dragons just in general, and try and find Mir and ask if she wants to come. That's my plan.
Okay.
We're off to kill the dragon.
Dragon out of the cave.
Yeah. So when we get to get on the ship and then get to Kilmore, I would appreciate some people going into that little old building and just making sure it's cleared out, so that when I go and collect Rurak, that I can safely go in and not get murdered.
I will have some people scout it out. I may include myself and Gek in that as well. Cool.
Cool. Is there anything else you guys need to discuss or anything?
No, I don't think so. Nothing in this moment in time.
Okay.
Very well, I'll talk to you in like fucking 5 days.
Yeah, I guess Jake will just figure out how Rurak,
Yeah, I'll
does this sneakily without the family knowing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Responsibility.
Yeah, I need to, this went in a massively different trajectory than I was expecting. So, I'll probably need to, I'll probably have to do some, story maintenance.
I see.
But that's fine.
Out of curiosity, can you give us a rough idea of how you expected this to end?
I just expected you to just go and have the meeting. I didn't really know what was going to happen at it. So basically anywhere it went up was probably going to be different from the trajectory I expected it to take.
I'm willing to bet though you didn't expect us to go hunting a dragon to kill.
It hadn't crossed my mind. There's one more thing I need to do with Finn.
Okay.
That would have happened probably before all that stuff, but it didn't really have any bearing on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Alright, lads. Well, yeah. Give me a little heads up when it's getting close to happen.
Maybe do some prep. You know, you might be out of. I don't want to say out of shape after your holiday, but you know, holidays tend to.
I'm always in shape, mate.
Alright, okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
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 See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya. Okay.
Okay. So there's actually two things I need to do. But we'll do Zorgar's thing first. So, presumably, Zorgar, while you're at the temple, you're praying, right? I think yeah. So there's like a couple days before that, like once the walls are starting to go back up and things like that, and progress is being made on the temple, you're having a little pray, and you hear a voice in your head. So I hope this works.
Please work.
So the voice says, "You've done well, Acolyte. The shield has been recovered from the grasp of tyranny, and the walls of my temple grow tall and strong once more. But your work is not yet complete, and your journey of repentance, a journey we must all walk one day, has only just begun. Though my temple might be restored, it will need acolytes to fill it. Rebuild the Balarian order, assemble the purest knights, those that would uphold our values, and spread my teachings to all that might hear them. Know also what it is to carry the shield, Zorgar. That relic has not seen battle in near 1,000 years, so to carry it into war bears great weight. The shield is a symbol more than anything, and you must ensure it symbolizes those that fight for justice, and not those that would pervert it. The seals are breaking. The challenges you have faced are nothing compared to what is to come. You will need good people around you to survive it."
Okay. Well, sweet.
Uh,
That worked.
Did it work?
Very well.
Could you understand everything?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Cool.
I could
Okay.
also hear the octave. And
Yeah, there's the octaves that happens on. And then, like the next morning after your meeting, a letter arrives, not via Drake or anything, just in like the regular post.
There's a postman.
The postman's just like-
Yeah, he just
Oh,
comes like
there.
there's like this dwarf just comes up and he's like, "Hello,
Mail for Markex.
hello."
I guess like
Um,
one of our men just like, hello.
I'm from Imperial Mail.
Bastards.
I've-
What do you want?
I've got a letter.
Who's
Good-
it for?
It's for. It just says for Markex.
Throw it over.
Throw it over. No, what kind of stupid guard is that?
Okay, hold on. I've got to get a rock or something to tie it
The guard
to.
would go fetch one of us. Wouldn't try and lob. Do you know how tall the walls are? Oh,
Your father smells of elderberries.
I'm assuming one of the guards will go fetch us.
I fart in your general direction.
Yeah. So let me just
Oh, your audio went weird.
Oh, did it? Is it okay?
For me, it's fine.
Good for me.
It's all good.
Right. I'm just going to. If I send this to you over Discord, will that work?
Yeah.
We can look at it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're right.
my computer is not a fan.
This one.
Oh, there we go. Fixed it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah.
Narinn and Zorgar Mark X. Clan Orn appreciate your efforts in informing us of Kaladin's passing. He wrote regularly about you and he will be missed. Kaladin's parents would appreciate the return of his remains so that he might be buried in accordance with our traditions. I trust you did all you could to save him. Lords.
Orlith Orn. Icon of Clan Orn.
Sure, so that's in response to the letter I
Yeah.
said about. Oh, that's nice. Clan Orn has responded. Can I question this dwarf quickly?
Sure, yeah.
Who sent you out here? How'd you know we were out here?
I've been trying to track you down for months. But then,
Been lost in the woods.
well, it's difficult to. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't worth my bonus because I've been all over the shop trying to track you down. What is
was
this?
the final lead that led you here?
I just heard that you were here. I heard people said that folk had moved into the fortress and there was dragonborn and there was a big army showed up and. Are you supposed to be a secret?
No.
All right then. Well, it works out well for everyone.
Mail.
You're welcome.
I give him a tip of like a gold.
Sure. Oh, thanks, sir. Much appreciated.
Hopefully the height doesn't cause the impact to be painful.
It lands in the dirt in front of him and he picks it up.
Cool.
It's pretty rude. Just chuck the coin. It's like.
I wasn't gonna go all the way down to the gate, open the gates, go out, give him the coin,
Oh,
go back in and
I
close
thought you were
the gates.
standing in front of him and you're just like.
No, up on the wall. Actually, how do we get the map? It doesn't matter. You made a paper airplane.
That's what I meant when I said
I
chuck it
am
over.
going to go find Balax and show him the letter.
Sure. He reads it and he's like, "Do we have his remains?"
No. They're kind of at the bottom of a chasm with a god, I think. So.
Shit.
I'll say.
I have his weapon, right?
Oh, maybe do you?
Give him that.
Because I collect. Oh wait, no, I don't, do I? Because I gave him the sweet mace, and then when I tried to reclaim the sweet mace from the Ditto guy, it just faded with him.
Oh, did you?
Damn it! Where's that
Um,
sweet mace gone? Paid good money for that sweet mace.
It's a good mace.
Do we have any of Kaladin's possessions?
I mean, there might have still been some stuff at Colburn,
Yeah, that's gone.
but then so he went from Colburn. He got kicked out of Colburn, and he was just kind of. Where did he go after that? He was just hanging in Rel, wasn't he?
Breeze to
Yeah.
Rel, yeah.
Fabrice might know where some of his stuff is.
How do we contact Febreze?
Uh,
I guess when we're in Meriden.
yeah, I guess she's. Yeah, I think it should be. She's barding at the minute, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we'll try and track down some of his possessions, but we definitely don't have any of his remains. So when we get to Meriden, hopefully we can arrange to have Febreze meet us. If not, we'll just have to respond and apologize.
Yeah, very well. It's. I suppose I don't think they'll be. They'll be disappointed, but they won't be angry. If sometimes it's not recoverable, or it's. You wouldn't want to see it. It's recovered.
Yeah. Also, even if we did have his remains, I'm not sure how we will post a body.
We'd have to deliver them by hand.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll see if Fabrice has any of his possessions when we're in Meriden.
Very well.
But at least they responded. That's good news.
Indeed, yeah.
Yes.
And that Kaladin spread our word.
Shows that they're on our side.
Maybe it shows that they care about their son.
It seems sort of as if it's phrased to be polite more than anything.
Yeah.
and he folds the letter up and hands it back to you.
Okay. Well, add that to our. You've got a to-do list going, right, Balax? Add that to the to-do list. With Febreze, should speak to Lidda on one of our 5 or 6 days travelling up and ask for her to track down Febreze so we can speak to her.
Very well. Yes.
Where would be the best place for Zorgar to look for accolades? Just like, should he put the word through the church, or?
That would probably be the traditional. You basically just have to kind of make a proclamation that the Fortress Temple is a place for, like, it's back in action basically. So potential accolades can. Yeah, just put. You basically just put out like an announcement, or advertise through the church.
When we're passing through.
How do you put an announcement?
I mean, you just hire like a herald essentially. Like most stuff just happens via word of mouth. So you hire like town criers and stuff, just to announce stuff. Really.
Put that in the list.
Yeah, you write that down as well.
That's very nice.
The only other thing is, Zorgar, can you roll a D100, please?
This is how many followers you get.
I most certainly can.
There's a bunch of dice right there.
My dice bag.
Or you can use those, I guess.
Just wait.
Very well.
Roll 2.
Roll a D100, which is the 2.
Yeah. Okay. 81.
81. Okay.
I can confirm he rolled 81. That's a high number for me.
Yeah, pretty fucking charismatic.
Hang on, I might need you to roll some other dice as well.
To do with
What is that number for?
your followers for your keep.
So yeah, your 81 gets you the person that turns up because you have a stronghold. But then I also need you to roll the D100 3 more times.
Okay. Got a few D100s.
Just more than one.
Is the first one?
50.
50.
43.
Right, hang on. Okay, one more.
59.
Fuck
59.
me. These are all good numbers.
What else do I need to roll? Is that it?
That is it. So, because you're building a keep first, you're going to get 3 units are going to turn up, which is what those rolls were. And then your 81 is the follower that is also going to turn up just because you built a stronghold.
Units of what?
Like army units.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So some of them might be Dragonborn folks, some of them might be Balax folks.
Can I, like, greet them when they get here?
Yeah, they'll get here when the keep is done, which won't be for like another few weeks after. So like probably after you, like the next time you're home after Stormguard, they'll all be there,
Okay.
or they'll turn up basically, and you'll find out what you get then.
Yeah, if I don't die.
If you don't die, yeah.
Great.
If you do die,
Pretty hard to follow.
then Narinn, you just got 3 units.
Oh, sweet. Zorgar, you're going to die on this excursion.
No.
It's for the greater cause.
No, it's not. They're my units.
Yeah, and unless there's anything
These are
else
our units.
to
How many
do,
people are in the units?
it depends on the size.
Okay.
Uh,
How big are they?
Ooh, you don't know yet. I think they start as like a D4. So I think it's like 40. You're bringing in like 100 folk turn up. But yeah, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, anything else you need to deal with, I guess that's probably us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to start hunting any dragons at 12:15.
It's 12:15.
Yeah, we've been going.
Yes, it is.
We've played longer on this interlude than we did at the actual session this week.
1 hour.
No, it's been 3 hours, man.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said it would only take an hour, but what
Yeah.
you didn't account for was that you were doing a session with the two of us.
So yeah, if you watch the stream, I think I've seen some people floating around in it. Cheers for watching, and we'll be back on. I think we're playing Tuesday. There'll probably be some other stuff before then. So, cheers for watching. See you around.
Bye.